Alright, let's hope for the best here. See if this works. If this doesn't work, I don't know what else will fix it. Sorry if I'm kind of being, let's see. I'm just gonna close this and hope for the best. I'm sorry if the stream is lagging. There's nothing I can do. I don't know what's happening. Also, ecomi.wiki is down right now, so I apologize if you guys are watching and it's just super laggy. Like, I honestly don't want to tell you. It also seems to be the case when your computer is, you know, 9 years old. Do I need to restart? Oh no, I think I need to go back. Because that's the old chat. I need to get the new chat. Probably some more lag here because I'm opening a new tab. Jeez. Computer really struggles if I have more than like a couple tabs open and live streaming. Like, it's just not friendly for that. Is this it? Let's see. Okay. I wanna not watch it. I want to see chat. Give me a sec here, guys. Sorry, give me a sec, guys. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I guess I can answer these questions via phone. There we go, finally. Alright, there we go. Just close that. Hope for the best. Alright. I can hear you. Okay, cool. I think we got this fixed. Honestly, I'm not sure if like my roommate's like downloading a bunch of stuff or. Plus, I should. The Wi-Fi's in my roommate's room. I probably should get my computer connected directly. That would help a lot with the like stream stability, possibly. But I do think the main bottleneck is probably my computer. I mean, it's like an i7, but it's like the. I don't know all the hardware on my PC. It's like 16 gigs of RAM and then some other stuff. It's an i7 or something. I don't know. I bought it so long ago. I bought all this stuff so long ago. Like, I don't even know my hardware specs. C3PO went up 400 in a day. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. What up, man? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Honestly, a little stressed out with like the stream stuff. Like, it sucks because I want my stream to look nice. I want it to do some like cool features and cool things, but like it just sucks because it's like it's so old. Like, and I've been meaning to upgrade it for a while, but like everything online is overpriced when it comes to like computer hardware, and yeah. So I'm just glad that you guys could at least like hear the music this time. I don't know. Last time it didn't seem like you could hear the music. I'm not entirely sure why that was the case. There we go. I guess you'll be able to hear it a bit better now. And I guess I need to get a subscription for Spotify now, unless I want to hear ads. So there's that. Mason Fuzzy, always trying to find an edge, huh? Always trying to find an angle. Honestly, like I've been saying for the last like 5-6 days, anything black and white series, anything Superman, not Superman, Spider-Man, everything is undervalued. Last I checked, I would check right now, but ecomi wiki seems to be down. Either there's updates or something going on. Yeah, there's still maintenance stuff, so we can't really check much on the market. I do have. Why is this not pulling up? And there's the ad. All right, get that. Why is this not working? All right, let me retry this. Let me retry this. I mean, it's plugged in. I don't know what more it needs. I think we got it. Let's go. All right, we got it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't get like an eye on the market right now. At least like what's the number after the i7? I don't remember. Okay, let me look up my computer specs, I guess. God, I always forget. Is it like God, it's like, how do you look at your computer specs? I always forget. It's like control panel, command prompt. Is that it? I always like forget like which one of those settings like is like a really easy way to like get your to find. I think it's control panel. Oof, that's bright. It's weird. I thought I changed my settings to like have it be black and or like dark mode. I guess we'll go to device manager. We can start there. Processor is an i7-4790K. And this, and like I said, like I got this computer 8 or 9 years ago, and I actually upgraded because I had an i5 something or another. I had the K because I wanted to overclock my CPU, but then I found out my motherboard isn't the right kind of motherboard for that even allows kind of like overclocking or whatever. So obviously that doesn't help. So it's an i7-4790, which, you know, that's 4 gigahertz. And then the graphics card that I use for, you know, gaming and stuff, it holds up to like some games all right, but again, it's a bit older. Where the heck is that? Disk drives, computer, cameras, monitors. Display adapters? Yeah, there it is. It's under display. It's an AMD Radeon R9 200, but I think it was like a 290 or whatever. I don't know why it just generically said 200 instead of like the 290, because I'm pretty sure it was like a 290 series or something like that. Again, this is like that video card's like 7-8 years old. And then how many? And I'm pretty sure I have like, it's got to be like 16 gigs of RAM or something like that. There's no way I went down to 8. I'm pretty sure I don't have 32. So I'm like 99% sure I have 16 gigs of RAM. Zach of all trades jumped the gun on Batgirl, got her at 107, thought deliveries were made. Yeah, I kind of stopped paying attention. I was looking at all 4 of them at one point, but then I just stopped paying attention. I just looked at Superwoman, Wonder Woman. God, like Wonder Woman, Girl, Woman. Kind of get confused with all the names. And yeah, I flipped her like 4 times and made some good profit. I usually try to just snipe stuff below, like low 4 mints. If I can get a sub 4 mint, you know, like an 801 or you know, a 655 or something, like, you know, of course, try and snipe it. And I usually relist them for higher, and people always seem to buy them. And you relist them every couple minutes, right? You list it, it doesn't get sold. You can even just relist it for the same price in case someone didn't see it. Sometimes you can go a bit cheaper, but I just keep relisting it, and you just adjust the price as needed to make profit, or you just keep lowering the price until someone buys it. As long as you have a SSD. I do have an SSD, but it's like really, what's it called? It's like pretty full. My friend suggested, he's like, dude, if you're getting issues with your computer and you don't have enough money to like upgrade it and all that stuff, he's like, you should probably just like reformat the whole thing and just start fresh. And I'm like, that's probably not a bad idea, because I have a ton of downloaded games and services and software, and it just like, you just get all kinds of crap on your computer over that long. That you just simply don't need, right? So I think something like that would help a bit. That in conjunction with just getting a direct connect Wi-Fi, because right now I'm using like a Wi-Fi or wireless Wi-Fi card thing in the back of my computer to get Wi-Fi instead of like a direct connect with the Ethernet cable, which I would imagine too is still, which is probably faster still. But Zach of all trades, yeah, you got to be, I'd be careful when buying, because where's Batgirl right now? You must have bought her like really early. If you bought not Catwoman. If you bought Batgirl at 107, you must have purchased her within the first like 20 or 30 minutes on the market. Because I mean, she was flying down very, very quick on the market. Maybe she rebounded back up, and I don't know. But like maybe you bought her within like the first like 15 minutes of the market. Because when I was looking, I saw she was pretty much in a free fall down to that price. Where's the new Supergirl at? Okay, 200. And then Wonder Woman, I imagine, is higher. Okay, 213, not much higher. And then where did Harley land? Oof, 335. Jeez. I remember when like there was sales or people were, you know, moving her around at like 600-700 gems early on. As long as you have SSD, yeah, kind of, not really. I mean, I do. That's where I have my operating system and like some other stuff, but I assume what you mean by like, ooh, 4th gen, like, oof. I was hoping the F on there at the end. What do you think Harley Quinn's potential? The newest one? Meh. There's like 11 of her already. I mean, just FA is the one I usually go for. I mean, the other ones are cool too, but I mean, it's just gonna get stuck in the noise of all the other Harleys. Supergirl, new Supergirl. I think it's okay. Like, this is where we start getting to the point where we're just having a lot of like meh and like lower mid tier like NFTs that like might see some movement, and like, you know, it's really hard to invest in something when it's like the 3rd or 4th iteration of it, right? This is our third Batgirl, our 2nd Supergirl in the same series, our 2nd Wonder Woman, and what are like our 11th or 12th Harley Quinn. So right now it's just, yeah, I wouldn't, if you're looking to, if you collect them if you like them, but if you're looking to invest or try and like make gems off of these, I would hold off. There's way better things to get. Anything new with the hedge fund idea? I've been thinking about it for a while. I don't know, I'm kind of busy with some other projects with other content creators, as well as not sure exactly how I would pull it off. Like, do I do it as a video series? Do I do it on my live stream? If I ask people in the community, like once I get donations, and plus, even if I do get people that donate to the hedge fund or whatever, like I wouldn't be able to start it till the end of this month, you know, until I get paid from YouTube, and then I'll move that money into a separate account. I'll have a different account that I move the gems to, and then we'll make purchases there. So just kind of just smooth out the edges for the idea. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and occasionally once we hit certain milestones, I'll give away an NFT. So we'll see. I think it's kind of a fun thing. Comment thoughts on tomorrow's drop? I have no clue, to be honest. I think, let me double check. Let me see. I kind of hope Vivian3 he's like the guy I turn to for that kind of like information. I really hope he has a video. Or maybe he already did and I just like missed it about the drop tomorrow. Oh wow, he released one literally 30 minutes ago. All right, let's I hope he doesn't mind if I do this. I'm gonna watch the first bit because I know nothing about is this it? No. Yes? No. Yes? Yeah, skip this. It's gonna play through my phone though. Okay, that's not gonna work. I could pull it up on here, but it's just gonna tax my computer more. So I'd rather not. I'd rather not put it on my computer. Yeah, let's just keep this going. I don't know much. If I would suggest you guys check out literally this video right here that I'm gonna put up on the screen. Veve3 is another awesome content creator. He just put this video up. Like this is who I turn to for information. Like I just don't have the time or the patience to watch or to just dig through Google multiple articles, multiple information sources to find out like who they are, what's their revenue, what's their target demographic, what age group. Like I just don't have that kind of time to do that kind of stuff. So the fact that it's a 6-minute video means there's probably quite a bit of history to go over on it. But like I said, yeah, check out the Veve NFT. I think it's Pilly Fantasy War Dragons. I wish I knew more on it, but I have no clue. You know, I'll play the drop, might do a little bit of market flipping, but I'm holding absolutely nothing long term. Tomorrow. Yeah, I think 11 gen might be out now. No worries. My secondary PC is similar. Nice. I love it's nice knowing that my main PC or like my only PC is like what other people use is like their streaming PC. Supergirl is so hot. Yeah, to each their own. Anyone land today? I did not. Where are the Batmans dropping like crazy? Bought Batman 71 for 300 and Darwin Cook for 200. Now I'm down on both. That's kind of an interesting thought. Let's double check ecomi wiki really quick. Wonder if it's still down. Yeah, it's still down. That's fine. So let's see. We can drop that. We don't need that anymore. Let's go ahead and pull this up. But no, like I'm being for real. Like if you guys aren't sure like what to do about the drop tomorrow, like whether you want to keep or hold or sell or flip, check out Veve3's stuff. What'd you say? The new Batman? Oof, got some stuff on my screen. Darwin Cook, where is he at? I still remember quite a few of the prices, like just in the back of my head. So 71, 250. There was a point where he was. I do remember there was a point where Batman 71 was around 250, 260. So it is. Don't get me wrong. It's at a very low point right now. It's pretty much, I would imagine, at its all-time low for like the last month or so. And if this is the one that I mentioned a few times, that this one had an all-time high like 600 a couple days ago. It just seems like a lot of people are just liquidating the DC stuff for the most part, and maybe they're trying to reinvest in other things. Again, I'm kind of blind when it comes to Rafael Garcia. Love the content. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate that. Even though we don't have ecomi wiki yet, that's fine. Like I said, a good amount of the prices are still kind of in the back of my head, or at least like a rough estimate. I got the Veve set list set up, so if you ever want to talk about master collector points or anything else like that, that'd be my take. What was the one I was gonna check? I think I was gonna check the Spider-Mans. Spider-Man, let's just check Spider-Man here. Where's Ben Riley at? Wow. Jeesh. Sorry if I yelled at in your guys' ears, but dude, 535 for a Ben Riley, and that is nuts. 535 for a Ben Riley. Let me actually expand this a bit more so you guys can see like what's going on here. I hope you guys like the little border thingy. I think that's probably part of the reason why my stream might be lagging a tiny bit, but I do want to add a border thing. I do want to add like a ticker at the very top. So instead of this little Veve area that's up here, the whole top will just have a ticker of NFTs that I'm recommending for that day or certain price points. And then I would love to have a little thing where I actually have chat above my head, like up here, like chat is just moving Either that, or I would just do what a lot of other YouTubers do when their stream is when they pull up something from chat, it'll like show who said it and like the text of the stuff. So it's a lot of stuff in movement. One of these days I might legitimately have to reformat my computer and just get rid of all the crap that I hardly use on there. Because a lot of it is filled with just like games that, you know, I've downloaded off Steam and haven't used in like forever, and a bunch of other stuff. Sorry about the loud noise outside. Supergirl. Will it go back up though? It seems to just keep going down, black and white. Yeah, it seems to be that way. I mean, it's not alone. Spider-Mans are going down. Last time I checked the common, it was around 800. Okay, it's kind of still sitting there. Last time I checked, the rare, it was like 1350. Yeah, now it's down to. Now it's down to 13. Okay, so it hasn't really moved. Spider-Man 2099, I believe, was at like 2800. Yeesh. Man, people just taking profits across the board. A lot of people liquidating right now. I wonder if this is part of the slow and steady gem squeeze that is MTL. That could be the case right now. I honestly don't know what else it could be. There's no major announcements. If people still, like, in my personal opinion, if people still think Pokemon's going to happen, it's just not. Like, it's just not going to happen. Where Batman's dropping like crazy. Yeah, I think I already read that. Mephisto, hey vibes, finally got a drop today. Supergirl number 71, sub 100. Should I sell it right away for around 1K and buy Donald Duck for 900, or should I hold it long term? I'm not sure yet what to do with all mints. I'm not sure when you got it delivered. Probably one of the best things you could have done, at least in what I would have done with a low mint, is legitimately try and sell it immediately on the market. That's when NFTs like that aren't super hyped FAs. I mean, just in general, market tends to start up here and it kind of whittles its way down. Then it might rebound, but it eventually kind of settles down. Especially when you have a lot of, let's just say, NFTs that are not FAs and maybe not the most popular superheroes compared to the ones that are already on the app. I tend to just get rid of it ASAP because Supergirl could reach back, because I think Supergirl it was going for like high 300s for a bit. Maybe like mid 300s. I don't remember. I was looking at her a little bit. But if there's an NFT I just don't really care about, honestly don't really care about, but yeah, just this one that I just not plan on holding long term. I usually try to sell it sooner rather than later. Because I want to sell it when everyone had, like, literally you have about 70 to 80% of the active users on the platform, on the market, looking to buy stuff, looking to flip. And that's the best time to get the best price possible, because you give it a week or two, everyone's focused on something else. People have already forgotten about the DC cover girls, right? At least this is just my thought process. So it's going to be more difficult later, because not only is it low mint, also less people are just looking at cover girls in general. So people's attentions are going to be somewhere else. So I think, yeah, I mean, you got a low mint, I would say for free. I mean, it costs you 60 gems, obviously. You got it on drop. So, and picking up a Donald Duck or something like that isn't a bad idea at all. Let's see here. What else we're going to check? Trying to think of some other things I was familiar with. Let's check out Deadpool really quick. If the last time I saw the uncommon was at 96, I want to say. Okay, it's pretty much there. Pretty thin sell wall, actually. The common at wow. I think the last time I checked it was at like 165, 150, something like that. These undercuts are getting pretty real. I wonder if this is actually part of the MTL squeeze. All they said was soon for MTL, so still no one really knows what's happening with all of these NFTs. So far, I've kind of had more success stacking, like with the, what's it called, the Mickey and Friends series. Like, it's funny, but like I made more gems buying Mickey than I did buying Pluto or Goofy. And I admit I got Goofy kind of high at like 3.6k. There was multiple times I could have got him below 3.2, but I was just being greedy. I was waiting for someone to undercut. I bought too soon and it just didn't work out. Pluto I bought for 1k. And so he doesn't seem to be going down much, which is good. He's holding his value. I think people are just really connecting Donald Duck and Pluto together. When Donald Duck gets too high, Pluto goes up, and when Donald Duck goes down, Pluto goes down. That seems to be the sentiment that's going on in the market. And Mickey, last I saw, he hasn't moved much today. I think he was like trying to push through 800 for a while, at least like when I was on earlier. That seemed to be the case. But for Rafael Garcia, again, thank you so much for the dono. Spider-Man 2099, yeah, I think people across the board are just selling for profit. I don't know if, again, they're waiting for MTL or like what's going on, but thanks for honesty. I did see 3's video. I wanted to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I need to watch it, but I would watch it on stream, but it would lag my entire stream for 10 minutes. So I don't want to put myself or you guys through that. Plus, he deserves the views, so you guys should check it out. Yeah, check out Spidey and his amazing friends. I think there's some possible future drops. Spidey and his amazing friends. Which one is that? Is that Marvel Mighties? Is that what you mean? Rafael Garcia. Theo Remy sold my Harley Quinn for $425 to add gems to the Steamboat Willie comment. Good idea. I think so. Is Steamboat Willie that cheap? Or add to the Steamboat Willie? Okay. I see what you did there. Yeah. I think, I mean, you got, I want to say you just got rid of Harley, but how much is the comment right now? Okay, it's holding strong at 750. I was going to be like, if this thing flew below 700, I'm like, what is going on? Vibes, what's up, man? AK Bash, what's up? I appreciate it. Yeah, right now ecomi wiki's down, so we're just kind of just dealing with this. And I think just even having the ecomi wiki site up, like my computer does not like it. Yeah, so it sees like there's maintenance going on and it won't go up. So right now we just have Veve set list up. Right now we're just kind of just skimming through the market. Kind of want to move it so you guys can see more of the screen and not so much like the tabs or whatever. Not that, like the tabs matter. Where's all together now? Wow, 7.1. Is this really gonna go sub 7k? Yeah, dude, this gem squeeze is pretty real right now. Does seem like a lot of people are just kind of panic selling right now, either in preparation for MTL, whether it's Pokemon. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think it is? I'm just curious. And honestly, I don't even think there's a wrong answer because I'm stumped myself. Like, I can't say that like it's this reason, and if it's a different reason, then you're wrong. Like, I'm genuinely curious what you guys think could be the reason why the market just has kind of just defied what it's done the last 2 or 3 times. Like, usually gem squeeze, big drop's done, everything goes up in price, and then you know, the cycle continues. But again, Uncommon Wonder Woman sold it for 400 right when the market opened. Good call, good job. Tito 420. Yeah, that's good. If you get an early delivery, you really should take advantage of that. To be quite honest, I'd rather sell it sooner rather than later. And the only time I would say hesitate is if you know deep down it's an FA, it's a very, very top tier character, or just or it's just, you know, a very iconic character in some sort of show or whatever, right? You know, just hold on to it in that case. But if it's the second Wonder Woman and there's quite a few mints, and CoverGirl series is all right. I think I ranked that actually pretty high-ish B tier in like my tier list video for NFTs. Got Supergirl at drop, hit it a couple times, then I had to go. Ain't it trying to be held down? I don't know what you mean by that. Nomad with guitar. Keanu M, do you think the new Batman movie coming out soon, all the bad ones will go up? Unlikely. I mean, we might see a bit of a bump, but I don't. When is that movie coming out? I'm literally just gonna Google Batman movie. Batman movie. What is that coming out? March 3rd. I mean, it's less than a month away. Discord? Yeah, potentially. Just give me a sec here to get through a couple things, but yeah, I'm down to do this. Did I not see your thing? Okay. Well, there's no market talk to be had because the market's down, so I'm totally down to have a stream buddy on here. So, but thanks, Veve3. Give me a sec. Let's put this down. Let's try and get Veve3 in here. I don't know why it's here. I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. Cool, cool, cool. We got it. Sick, sick, sick. Just give me a sec here, guys. This is a really cool thing that uh-oh. There it is. Veve3 thing made. I'll have to play with it for a bit, but yeah, let me get Veve3 on here. We're doing it live. Sold my Ultraman set to buy Steamboat Willie like we talked about last week on here. Entered at 6,400. I'm pretty happy. Oh, the secret rare? Not secret. The ultra rare? Hello?
Hey, bud.
What's up?
Just muting you.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and get this going. We got your sick little Game Boy outline here. I dig it. Right. I dig it. Just got to get that going.
I didn't realize the Dragon information thing released yesterday. I was scrambling all over the place this morning.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally get that. Let's see. Trying to fix it here. It's gonna take me a while. I probably could have done this in like pre-production. I'm still trying to remember like how to do that like off screen, so we're not.
You could just hold Alt, and you grab like the corners, and that lets you crop instead of squishing or something like that. I'm no pro. I'm a noob.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. We're getting there. We're getting there. But I think there is a way I can do it where it's not like showing everything I'm doing, right? Like this. Why did I do that at top? No.
Yeah, there is a way to do it. I have no idea though. We gotta figure this all out.
Yep.
If we're gonna do this more often. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm supposed to be the one that's like, oh, I stream pretty often-ish, right? Let's put this at 500. That's good.
That's why I do everything in editing, dude. Like,
yeah,
record everything and then just edit.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can do this. And then put you down a bit. I think this is the one. Nope.
And then you just crop the sides, right?
Yeah, that's Alt, right? Or Shift? No, that's not.
I think it's just Alt by itself. Are you using OBS?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just Alt by itself, but maybe not.
Like
you just hold Alt and then grab one of the little boxes and smush it in.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But it's like zooming you in instead of, oh, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. We're getting it.
The future is now. We are evolving, improving.
And I think it'll probably help too if I make this a bit bigger. Give me a second. This is just a mess, but we're going through it.
Oh man,
that's good enough. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Glory. That's good enough. That looks awesome. Maybe not crop your head so much. I'll change it.
I wonder if I've like aged myself out of the demographic. People are like, I don't even know what a classic Game Boy looks like. Like, what is this?
Yeah. No, I had a classic Game Boy, or I should say my older brother had a classic Game Boy. And I remember playing, Zelda, A Link to the Past, not A Link to the Past. It was Link's Awakening. I also remember playing Kirby. I remember playing actually the first generation of like Pokemon on there because I didn't have like a Game Boy Color yet.
Yep.
So that was pretty fun. And then
you ever play Earthworm Jim? That was like I love that game. Doesn't get much love.
Earthworm
Jim.
I don't think I played that on. I think we played that on like NES. Like my cousin had an NES, and I think that's what we played that on. Earthworm Jim, or maybe that was the Tick. But Choo Choo, thank you so much for the $5 and the hype emote. Getting hype up in here. So yeah, right now ecomi wiki is just is closed right now. Yeah, it's just taking a poop, taking an update, whatever it's doing. And then in the meantime, we're just going to be talking about I kind of referred people to your video because you just came out with that, because people were asking me like, what do you think about tomorrow's drop? I'm like, I have no idea. I was kind of waiting for your video to come out to like get updated. So I mean, is there anything on there that you can kind of give us a sneak peek on? So
no, I don't care about sharing all of it, but yeah, franchise is like 1985. They started the first television series. It's always been like a puppet thing centered out of Taiwan. And to put it in perspective, like the show's still happening, and it started in 1985. And by saying it's still happening, it's not like there's just a few people interested in it. There's still like yearly festivals where people like group together with replica puppets and people dressed up as like, and they celebrate events that happened in the television series.
Really?
It'd be like, I can't think of, like Comic-Con isn't a good example, but I just can't think of any like cultural events where we all go out dressed as like superheroes or characters from a show, and we're like, let's go, celebrate their wedding that they had on this TV show in the 80s. Like that just doesn't happen. So a lot of hype with it. Obviously they've moved with the times. They've went through television, they've done opera, they've got figurines. Now they're on Netflix and Crunchyroll, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think a thing I touched on in the video, you hear people say, this is going to be super popular in the Asian market. And it's kind of like a throwaway statement, but I don't think a lot of people understand just how big like the APAC, the Asian Pacific market is. It's like 60% of the world's population. And you were listening to the AMA with me yesterday that David Yu's like that in China, which is just a small percentage of all the APAC, they're spending, over $1 billion a year on NFTs, and we don't even have any of them on Veve. So like there's money to be made. So I get the cultural value and relevance of them adding the IP.
No, that's a big deal. The fact they're on like Netflix and Crunchyroll, and for those of you guys who don't know, Crunchyroll is like another platform where it's mostly does anime, but I think it's pretty much like 99% anime.
Yeah, for sure.
I use other sites to watch anime and stuff, but this show is mostly about like, did it originate with puppets? I could have sworn I heard David Yu or something talk about like puppets or something like that with like this series. So is it more of like? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't
know if it's like a thing with like puppets, or is it like an anime that's based on? I like the phrase that you used last time. It's like Team America plus like anime or Dragon Ball or something.
Essentially, it's always been puppets, and you have to think like mid '80s. Jim Henson's like crushing it, and so puppets were more commonplace. But this is a show that's managed to stay relevant, staying in the niche of everything that's shot that you're seeing is like special effects, but all of the characters are purely puppets. Like it's all puppetry. They're not like CGing in the puppets. They're actual replicas. And that's another thing I kind of said in the video is that's a thing that a lot of the APAC and those kind of countries produce is they use figurines and toys, kind of like Power Rangers and stuff like that, where it looks bad to us because we're like, man, that doesn't look like a cool, transformer that we're used to seeing. But for them, you can just go buy that toy and you have like it looks shoddy on TV, but to them they're getting the exact replica. And that's kind of what this show is doing. And David, you also said that during the AMA, like the actual replicas that they use sell for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's like rich people sending unpaid interns, you know, go fetch me this puppet, intern. And so, you know, they go bid all this money, but that's not what we're getting, obviously. Like those are kind of like one-ofs, you know, very, very rare physical properties. In terms of, there's a bunch of these physically that you can just buy on like Amazon and, you know, collectible shops. And the aesthetics almost exactly the same as the NFTs. I didn't like really push that in the video because I'm not trying, I was kind of just like trying to present the information in a non-biased way. But I couldn't find exact replicas of what we're seeing, but I found physical replicas of other characters that aesthetically look exactly the same. Gotcha. Like the same character design, if that makes any sense.
And are those produced in mass, or is it similar to like, or is there like a limited run of those? Because people could have said the same thing a year ago, like, why are you buying, you know, maybe not a year ago, but, you know, 6 months ago, like, why are you buying these shots for $1,000 when you can just buy the physical collectible for 200, you know?
I didn't dig deep enough to find that out, but I did see that you could just like buy them on Amazon like you would a Funko. And I know Funkos do have like, you know, limited edition runs and stuff like that. So I honestly don't know the answer to that. And I don't want to, you know, tell people the wrong stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Strangely enough, I actually came at like, I was just watching a random YouTube video today while I was at the gym, and it popped out. It said just like Guinness World Book of Records in 2021. I'm like, all right, cool. So I checked it out, and I saw one of like Funko Pops. I saw one with like some guy who collected like a bunch of Coca-Cola, like every Coca-Cola can that Coca-Cola's ever came up with.
Yeesh.
And I'm trying to remember some of the other ones too, but a lot of them were like what do you know? Like they're all IPs, or at least like they're all tied in some way to like a lot of the collectibles that are on Veve right now. And I'm not just, you know, maybe I'm trying to make like arbitrary connections to Veve for the most part, but I mean, the brands that are on Veve are highly collectible, and that's something I talked about with I know you chimed in, or you were there for a bit yesterday, but when I was with my collectibles, we were talking about it. Aaron. It's like Veve, Aaron. We were talking how it was impressive how Veve, like, they come up with these like very collectible things, but they come out with some like hard hitting like IPs, or, like the biggest stuff, like Marvel Comics #1 first, and then like Coca-Cola and Marvel and DC and all of those. So is this something kind of similar to like the Southeast Asian market, or at least like is there a certain country that this is like really, really big in compared to other countries?
Taiwan would be the country that it's the most prevalent in. In fact, whenever the internet, like dial-up internet search like popped up, the company made their first ever website, and the name of the company, Pili. I'm sure I'm pronouncing everything wrong, so you know, don't crucify me, people, but that translates into Thunderbolt, and that's the name of the series. And whenever they made their first website, that word on the internet was the most searched and used word for all of Taiwan.
Wow.
Like, that's how popular just the name of the franchise was once the internet was accessible to people. So yeah, huge deal in Taiwan. And Taiwan's obviously directly linked to Hong Kong because of like pre-colonialism and all of that good stuff. You could say, unfortunately, linked to China. There's like all kinds of like geopolitical issues with all of that, which is far beyond the scope of this conversation.
Yeah, because I was just looking at the population of Taiwan. You know, not massive, 24 million people, but I mean, obviously the popularity of that show has leaked over to other countries, right?
Correct.
And like you said, but we did have I'm just gonna field a couple questions here from chat. The one person asked me, Spidey's Amazing Friends are toys and books. They look just like the Marvel Mighties. They have characters that might drop on Veve. Potentially. Have you looked into that at all? Like, it seems like the black and white series, a lot of the cover girls as well as like the Marvel Mighties are tied to like physical sets. So have you kind of looked into that at all and kind of like are able to predict like, okay, these could drop in the future?
The only real prediction with the Mighties, and everyone said it at this point, is like the future gamification. I couldn't find, and I've looked, and if one of you that's listening and watching has a source, please link it, but I haven't been able to find exact physical replicas the mighties. I found things that are very, very similar, but I haven't found one that I could just place the image over the physical product and it's identical. I can't locate that. So if that exists, like, you'd be doing me a solid if one of you know where that is.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So I don't know about that. And my son, my oldest son Thor, has those Spidey and His Amazing Friends books. And they look really, really similar, but they're still a little bit different. Like, there's just a little bit of difference.
Yeah. Is your oldest son named Thor?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
His middle name's Alexander, just in case he's like, "Why'd you do this to me, Dad?" So he has a fallback name.
Yeah. I've always part of me always wanted me to call my possibly my son's name Logan after Wolverine, but I know Wolverine's his name is also James Howlett. Like, sometimes I get confused with that. I have to like look back into which one is his actual name. I think it might have changed, or like the way he identifies himself potentially. So quick question for AK Bash. What are your plans for MTL, and what do you think will happen in the market? The market's acting very weird right now. Like, the last two times after Golden Moments, after 12 days of Veve, there's the big gem squeeze because there's an announcement. After that's said and done, usually the market rebounds like pretty aggressively. Like, within a few days, that's where you got stuff like Todd like jumping up 10K in the matter of like a week, and then a lot of other NFTs exploding as well. But now I think the market is just market just continues to retract. So I think it could be a combination of things. MTL announcements, small possibility of bots like cashing out. But I feel like if a bot won an NFT, they would probably want to cash out ASAP. Like, I feel like that's been going on for a while now. Like, I don't think they're all hoarding their NFTs and they're like, well, now's the time to cash out, and there's just like a big flood of them in the market. And maybe, I really hope it's not Pokemon. I think me and you are on the same page. Like, Pokemon's not going to happen. So like, if people are holding their breath for that, it's just not going to happen. At least I don't see it happening.
There's just not enough in place yet. Could it be the dirty gems? Like, they were talking about dirty gems, and I was like really super surprised to hear Dan Carruthers say, yeah, it's fine. Like, you're not going to get tagged as fraudulent and banned for purchasing gems off market. But if you get scammed, you're hosed. You're on your own. We're not going to help you. But I was kind of like really surprised to hear that. I'm wondering, are people cashing? Maybe people were scared. If I do that, I'm going to get banned. But here's the co-founder of the company being like, yeah, you could do that. Just if you get scammed, you're hosed. And maybe people are just like, maybe this is a pre-MTL thing we're seeing. People are like, cash out, cash out, cash out, cash out. Let's get that money. Yeah,
I didn't think about it that way, because I think for a while now, I mean, there's probably a handful of people that were on the fence. Like, do I buy gems? Do I sell gems? Like, what if I get caught? And like, people are asking, like, is it a bannable offense? And like, they never made it clear. But it, like, right then and there, they said, I mean, you could do what you want, but if you get caught off app or if something happens off app, we can't help you or recover you at all whatsoever. So it's kind of interesting. Like, are there any other companies that like do that? I don't know, like in the NFT or like OpenSea space, but even just like in gaming in general, are there any ones that are like, yeah, you can buy stuff? Because like, I know, like my friend would buy like WoW Gold off app, but like that would get your account banned. Or if you bought, I used to play a lot of EVE Online. Like, if you were caught basically buying the in-game currency off game, that was a good chance that your account could get you could get locked out of your account, and all that stuff. So
Diablo 2 would let you do that. Like, all my buddies would be like grinding Stones of Jordan for Diablo 2, making that sweet Diablo 2 bank. But yeah, right here's what is this? This is the new bots and account restrictions, what you need to know document, and they have it listed right under quelling community fears. Your account will be disabled for purchasing dirty gems. Nope, there's no truth to this claim. So
yeah, they seem pretty chill with it. Just like, yeah, do what you want. Like,
host.
But
yeah, you're be hosed.
And I kind of wonder why that is. Why they're maybe it's just, again, I think maybe they're just short staffed, or there's no way to detect it.
That's it. That's what it's got to be, right?
Like, yeah, and it's like, how would you know? And then like now, I mean, if you were having false flags with botting on drops or this or that, like, you would have way more with transferring accounts and gems, or transferring gems between accounts. Like, you would get all kinds of like, hey, why are you transferring gems every day? It's like, well, I don't know, my friend gave me money, or like my friend wanted to try out Veve, I wanted to give him 100 gems for a couple drops, like whatever. Yeah, but I doubt they're looking at accounts even if they were looking at it, even if they were looking at accounts, they're probably not looking at any accounts that transfer less than 300-400 gems a day. They're trying to find the accounts that are probably transferring thousands, in my opinion. Ben Casey asks, what do you think about the uncommon FA Spider-Man collectible? Awesome pose. Yeah, that's the upside down one. Yeah, it's one of the classic poses. Right now, I would say it's probably a coin flip between that one and like the Ben Reilly, because I think those ones are both kind of close to the same price. But I don't know, man. Like this gem squeeze is just continuing. I'm really curious to see what they have announced next week. I think it is partly like you said. I think that we basically got confirmation from Veve saying, yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want with your gems off app, but if you get caught, you're on your own. So maybe there is kind of like a mini MTL or like a mini cash out happening right now. Any thoughts on that? Or just like, I'm just throwing out stuff, so if you have anything to add. If not,
I was actually looking at, there's a comment tagged me, so I was like trying to figure out what he's talking about, so I have something to say.
Oh yeah, like that one. I can ask get the next question in the meantime. Got a couple of Verse Spider-Mans. Might sell some off for another Ultraverse Steamboat Willie. Yeah, Steamboat Willie is a absurdly low price right now, and if he goes below 7K, that's a really good time to pick one of those up. So I'm actually gonna pull up the uncommon hanging upside down Spider-Man, so you guys know what the heck it is. Pull it up over here.
Was this Veve set? Yeah, Veve set list. This website's cool, man.
Yeah, I like the site. Again, I'm kind of just waiting for the final version of the MCP to come out, but I think it's good to look at it now. So when it does come out, I mean, people are going to be clamoring to get their collectibles or their comics pretty much right away. So it'd be nice to know which ones I need to grab in the meantime. So yeah, the hanging out upside down is actually more expensive than Ben Reilly right now, which is kind of surprising, considering it's like cool Ben Reilly. It is a cool pose. I really like those poses in general. I do like the Ben Reilly poses a bit more. It just seems much more just like acrobatic. Yeah, just like I've always appreciated that style of Spider-Man a bit more. So let me close that.
We got so many Spider-Mans on the app now.
Yeah, we got a lot of Spider-Mans now. I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
There are total. I wonder how many additions between like all of them,
additions?
Spider-Man are minted.
Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different Spider-Mans so far. Not including like Ghost Spider or like Spider-Woman, obviously. So 11 so far, at least under that Spider-Man like category. Let's see where Green Goblin's doing. I'm kind of curious where he's hanging out on. Did you end up buying or keeping any of these like Spider-Man Marvel Mighties?
Nope.
Okay.
It's because I'm just completely
out
on
of
my
gems.
liquidity. Like it's been so low for so long, and there were so many things that I was kind of just waiting for dips. And I was like, cool, great entry point. Cool, great entry. And now I'm just like, I'm not putting any money on the app. So here we sit and wait for recovery.
Yeah, I remember, gosh, even being around during that whole AMC GameStop thing, like it pumped up and went down, and people were like, "Oh, we can keep this going," and like, "Bro, like buy the dip," and like another dip's like, "Buy the dip, buy the dip," but like, it's like I can only buy 13 more dips, but if there's 25 dips, like I can't buy them all. Like I just like there's just too many. Addon. I don't know. Editon. I had 2 Harley Quinns today. I'm thinking of holding floor. Seems too low. Thoughts? Yeah, honestly, with NFTs like this, I tend to try and get rid of them sooner rather than later. They tend to just bottom out and just stay there for a while. Like even when I was flipping Wonder Woman's, I flipped 4 of them like within an hour, made about 94 gems, and I saw the floor starts. I mean, I remember the floor went from about 290 down to about 240 within about 10 minutes. It just completely bottomed out, or like even 5 minutes. So I was like, all right, I think that's the point to just stop. And then it kind of just stays there, especially after all of them are delivered. So I would say, unless it's an incredibly significant FA or like a huge name character or something like that, that's the ones I tend to hodl. But if it's a 3-peat or a non-FA, or again, for most of these the women on the one that we got today.
How many Pete's would it be at this point for Harley Quinn?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think we have like 11 or 12 of her. We have 2 Wonder Womans. We have 3 Batgirls and 2 Supergirls. And it's like, you know, some people might like them for the aesthetic. Like if you want to collect them, like go for it. Now's probably the perfect time to buy. But it might be
that argument's fair for like Supergirl, and it's fair for Wonder Woman. But Harley Quinn, there's just so many of. Like the aesthetic argument. I do agree that aesthetics are going to matter, especially when there's a butt ton of them. But as of right now, in this moment, there's a lot of Harley Quinns to pick from. There aren't a lot of the other ones.
Yeah. But selling now, I mean, where are they at right now? 4 something? Let me check. I think the last time I checked, they were like 420 or like 430. Let me double check here.
Aren't you going to be happy when the web platform's open? Then if the market trackers are down, you could just go to the web platform. You're having to search it like a Neanderthal on your phone right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. You have to scroll all the way down. Yeah, scroll all the way down, go to find the category. And even then, like, it just seems like a lot of the categories are just redundant. They, you know, it's like we have Jermaine Rogers, and then we have like all his subsets of different releases.
Together, you would think.
Yeah. Harley Quinn right now is at 320. I mean, if you sold both of them, you'd get what, like 620 gems? I mean, you can get a card with that. It's not bad.
It's wild you landed 2 on the drop. Is that what that said? Did I read that right?
You got 2 on drop.
Oof. Isn't Harley Quinn the rarest one?
Yeah, that's the ultra rare.
I made a video on this, but I can't keep track anymore. My mind's in Thailand or Taiwan right now. I don't know where I am.
It's really up to you. I honestly just don't see Harley Quinn rebounding anytime soon, especially during whatever this gem squeeze is happening right now. So, it's, even though you're a bit late, it's better than, you know, holding it until, like, you know, it gets driven into the ground. Like I could see this getting down to like 280. It wouldn't surprise me, but let's see. It's that boy Keo. What's up, dude? Can you ask Vivian3 if he knows if Marvel Mighty Milestone Edition comics are first reprint? I don't even know what that is. Milestone Edition comics are first
Milestone Editions are comic reprints. I don't know, and I don't want to give you an answer if I don't know.
Like
I wish we had like Boodle on here or something who knows absolutely everything about comics. Everyone thinks I'm a comic guy, and I know a little bit about comics, but I think the reason people think I'm a comic guy is because I end up having to do 2 videos a week on comics. But most of that I'm researching, I'm learning it, you know, as you're learning it. So by no means I'm not a comic expert, guys. Promise.
Yeah. It's like give me a few hours and I'll be an expert on whatever that singular thing is. But after that, I don't know. Caleb says, comment
shavings on page 13.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Caleb Leak, comment Steamboat Willie or an FA comment Spider-Man. I'm just in general, I'm a bit more bullish on just the Disney over Spider-Man right now. So like me personally, I'd probably take a Steamboat Willie over Spider-Man. And I think even right now, I think Steamboat Willie's a bit cheaper than the common Spider-Man. Not by much though, but I mean, if you can save yourself 50, 60 gems or 100, I mean, you can buy another NFT or just save those gems for drop tomorrow. Because I think right now, like Spider-Man will always be a very strong superhero and like IP on the platform, but given enough time, I do see Disney like overtaking it.
Potentially.
Potentially. At least, especially like the golden moments and stuff. Like I think the golden moments are, I hate using that term, undervalued. It's like, what timeline are we talking here? And you know, the market, like no one expected the market to just like keep squeezing like it is right now. What else? Rafael Garcia, do you think GameStop will start selling physical collectibles and accept Immutable X or Omi? GameStop did partner with Immutable X. Yeah, they partnered with Immutable X just the other day, or like earlier this week.
That'd be wild. That's for sure. That'd be really wild. I know, 2 AMAs ago, the December AMA, I think it was Dan Carruthers was talking about, or maybe it was Rice. I can't remember that far back, but they were talking about how their ultimate long-term goal for OMI, for the token, is that it becomes the token for trading NFTs, period. Like in a day, it's like the Ethereum equivalent for NFTs. So, I mean, if something like that would happen, it could happen, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. They can't even figure out OUP. So
I think someone who'd be really good with that question would be someone like Chris. I feel like
Chris, yeah.
Chris would be, or at least he would, you know, have a better idea than sure as hell me than I would. Sandy says, when you transfer gems, they limit you one transfer a day. Yeah, I remember that. Like, you're probably commenting on what I said with if Veve was like tracking people moving gems and stuff. That is true, but they also, like, if you're also accepting a lot of gems, because I'm assuming, I've never bought gems off platform, but I assume that whoever's selling them, just to kind of expedite the process, that they have multiple accounts. So if an account is receiving 500 gems a day from 6 different accounts for a week, then there's potentially something weird going on. I would assume, if they cared, which it doesn't seem like that's the case.
And the scam here, basically, and I've seen it on Twitter multiple times, the scam is someone builds up a relationship with you over the period of a week. You do several small transactions to prove, you know, I'm a good guy, you're a good guy, you're using escrow or whatever. And then for the very final transaction, they create a fake escrow that looks exactly the same as all the previous ones that were legit. And then that's when you YOLO. They're going to give you, you know, 100,000 million gems for your partner's statue, your Star Wars set, and all of this. And it's that final one. It's that final hit. That's the fake one. And then you're just completely boned. And that works both ways, whether we're talking NFTs to gems or gems to NFT. In terms of off app, that is the scam. So if you are doing that stuff, just be aware of all the stuff that's happening in that space.
Let's see, Zach, I landed a Wonder Woman number 95. We got a lot of low mint winners here. Good for that. We got someone that won 2 Harleys, another person that won a low mint something else. I didn't get anything today, but I was like, you know, I'm just gonna take out my frustration on the market, do what I can, and got a nice little bit of profit. So we got a 95 Wonder Woman. Not sure if I should sell now or see if this Wonder Woman catches up with the FA one. I just don't like. I think when this gem squeeze is, whatever this is done, the first things that are going to pump are going to be Disney, Marvel, you know, Disney and Marvel for sure in my mind. DC will follow. It'll probably start with the black and white series. Batman's will start going up. People are going to panic like, oh my God, I want to buy this. I just imagine Wonder Woman could do that, but it'll take her longer to like get back up to, I don't think this one. Do you ever see this one catching up to like the FA Wonder Woman, like the current version?
In what length? Like what period of time, I guess, is the question.
Yeah. Let's say
short term, no.
Yeah.
Very, very long term, potentially, just because of all the utilities that they've mentioned and past AMAs and releases. You know, potentially people will be able to use these as like skins, like you wouldn't say Fortnite or any other game, where if you own the character, you know, you can use that skin. So things like that potentially could increase value over time. But in terms of like short term, I don't know. It doesn't seem Wonder Woman's getting the same kind of love as Supergirl, for instance, which everyone loves. I don't know if the market reflects. I haven't got to look at the market once. Like I got up, failed the drop like a bum, drank a cup of coffee, and was like, oh, they released this for the video. I need to go do that. So I don't even know what's happening in the market right now. Is Supergirl crushing or is it not crushing?
There was a period of time where Supergirl was beating out Wonder Woman just price-wise, but then there was a period of time where actually Wonder Woman flipped Supergirl, despite Supergirl being a higher rarity, less mints. And I think right now they're both. I think right now Supergirl, last I checked, was at 200, and Wonder Woman's still beating her out, but not by much, like 220 or something. So
what's the ceiling for the drop? Is Harley Quinn at top, obviously?
Yeah, Harley Quinn was the ultra rare. Supergirl was the rare.
Where is she at though, roughly? I was kind of curious how high it went before it petered back down after FOMO.
Supergirl or Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn, like the most valuable.
The first one when I first got on the market, I was a little bit late, but I saw her initially hovering around like 600s for a while, but like it was just slowly just going down and down and down, like as just the market stayed open. So I'm sure there was sales in and around 6 and like high 500s, but now she's settled at 320 right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, with Wonder Woman, it's It's up to you. I could pull it up really quick just to see where like what the other 100s are going for right now, and like you can kind of at least get like somewhat of an idea of where it's going for. I can even pull it up here on the screen so we can see Wonder Woman. Look at this sub 100 minutes.
There was another Wonder Woman that Jonathan Matthews made, and that's the guy that made not Harley Quinn, not Wonder Woman. So he made Supergirl, and he made the other one. He crafted a Wonder Woman that was like super freaking awesome. And I feel like if that one would have dropped, it would have been kind of like the people would have the same love aesthetically as they are for Supergirl.
Yeah, I think some people do like the more realistic or true to life version, I guess you could call it, a bit more than the Artist Alley or the some of the other versions that exist. So I'm looking at some of the sub 100s. There's a lot of sub 100s on the market. Like usually, if it's a pretty big drop, like an FA or just a popular character, like I mean, you'll be lucky to see, I would say 6 or 7 like sub 100s on the market. I mean, I'm looking now and that's 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 sub 100s on the market. Yeah. And so typically what I do is like I scroll up a bit, like because you're not just competing with the sub 100s. I mean, I think that's kind of like a benchmark a lot of people want to hit. But like if you really want to sell it quickly, like you have to undercut probably some of these people that are like in like the low hundreds too.
Sure.
Or at least be like in the same price range, because it seems like as of right now, no one else. I mean, there's a 1.9K, so you have to like you're in a 1.8K. That's a lower mint than yours, so you're gonna have to like if you wanted to get rid of this, you would have to do a pretty deep undercut. Not financial advice, but like if you want to get rid of it now, like 1.5, 1.55, or like 1.6. Like if you want to get rid of it, obviously go cheaper. But I mean, if you sold it for 1.5 and you got, even if you got 1.4K out of it, I mean, there's some good things you can get for 1.4K on the market right now. I mean, it's the entire market's for sale. Like it's a fire sale going on across the board on the market. So I want to leave it up to you. I do think it'll go up, but it will take some time. 95 Wonder Woman is a pretty special mint. One of the Wonder Womans, that's a tongue twister, that I bought, and I didn't realize it till after I sold it, was a 1776, which is a big deal here in the US. So I didn't know if there was any like relevance to like Wonder Woman and like that year or anything like that. I looked it up on Google and I couldn't find anything. I'm like, did I just like make like a massive mistake, or like did I just like, was that like a genuinely unique mint number for Wonder Woman? It didn't seem like that was the case, like other than she's wearing an American flag, or like a wearing like an American outfit or whatever with like the colors. Not really that I can think of.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem related.
Okay, I was like, because I didn't notice till after I sold it. I'm like, oh my god, like is there some sort of weird niche or like a comic book thing or like something she did that she traveled back in time and did something cool, or like, but unlikely.
There are the weird niches, like obviously like the people that just want 1945 mints. I see that one a lot. Like the 1940s are a popular mint for everything for whatever reason. Yeah,
a lot of historical stuff happened during that decade, I imagine. But yeah, Zach, sorry I couldn't give you more of a straight answer. Like it's just uncertain times in the market. It's like, is it going to continue to squeeze? Will it rebound aggressively? Who knows? Super good looks too good to let her go. Agreed in some ways. Yeah. 3 Supergirl. Yeah, you're right. There is 3 Supergirls that I said too. Veve Vault. Awesome collab. Is DC Battle Statue still a good buy? I might get a second one. I'll be honest. I've kind of say no. In my opinion right now, I do think there's better buys for better discounts. I will say actually Battle Statue's been, because I was looking it up as we were talking. It's still at around a K or like high 900. So it's holding its value
pretty
decently
resilient.
well. Yeah. I'll pull it up here. So
I mean, when all the battle statues are in play, it's going to be really, really cool. I think people are really going to dig on that series because they're so much bigger than all the other, like all the, so there's only one thing on the platform. There's the Harley Quinn where she has the hammer. There's the Joker's, like you hit the bell. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like an entire environment. That's the only other thing on the app that I can think of that's anywhere close to as detailed in terms of environment as the battle statues.
Yeah, and the other thing I like too is like, especially if you're a vaultaholic, you could do some pretty creative things. Like Batman's about to punch something, but you can clip it in a weird way where he's punching someone else or punching an object or another character or something like that. So you can do some pretty fun things with that. But as of right now, like as a person that focuses on market price action stuff, like I haven't seen the battle statue do anything impressive, but it did come in at like a really rough time. Like it showed up and then like 2 days later they're like, oh yeah, here's mini, here's a little teaser, and then 3 days later there was the card announcement, and then the day after there was the Marvel Mighty announcement. So it came in at like a really rough time. I think if it came in a solo drop and like there was nothing happening on either side and it was just free to kind of do well, I would say, I'm actually going to lower this down a bit. I'm going to say it's a decent buy. It's probably not the first one I would go for, but like I don't think you would regret getting it. But this one could rebound very well too. It depends. I would say as more.
Do you think the battle statues will pump when other battle statues pump in, or do you think it won't matter?
Oh, like if the battle statue will pump? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if more battle statues drop. Like let's say the Superman Darkseid battle statue drops next. Do you think it's gonna, because that would be another FA and another related series title? Do you think collectively they're going to increase in value because of that association, or will it just not matter?
I think it'll go up because it's Batman, but I think if Batman was fighting probably a slightly more iconic villain, that too, because I do think there is a battle statue where he's fighting Joker, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know if you're able to pull that up, or like if you're able to see like Batman battle statues. If he's fighting a Killer Croc is cool, and the FA is the villain, not so much Batman now. So if there is one where the FA is either a better villain, or even if it is Joker, like just having those two together would be really cool. I'm not entirely certain.
Here, I'll just send this to you in your I'll just send this to you in your
Discord.
Yeah. There's the Batman Who Laughs versus Batman battle statue, and I think that's what you're thinking of, because at the bottom, all of the Robins have like morphed into like disfigured Jokers.
Yes. That is the story is really awesome.
Sick thing. Where are you? Copy. Man, I need to organize the windows better. I'm sorry this is taking so long.
That's fine. But no, if you guys haven't checked out the story of Batman Who Laughs, it's pretty crazy. He basically gets corrupted because he gets, a hit of the like the Joker poison or whatever it is, the Joker toxin. We lost you for a sec, I think. There it is. Oh, that one's pretty cool. I gotta move it now. Oh, you're just. Let me open this. Open original.
Did I get kicked, or am I still here?
You're still here. It's just the video isn't working. You might have to like turn your video like on and off. Dude, this is crazy. This picture.
Yeah, it's super awesome.
And so on this one, it doesn't look like. At least on this one, it doesn't seem like the Batman Who Laughs, I guess they are fighting each other, because Batman Who Laughs is Batman, but maybe he's fighting like an alternate version of himself or whatever. But yeah, the Batman Who Laughs basically has like Robins as pets, and he like corrupts people to like to basically become Robin. It's a pretty crazy story.
Yeah, he's from like the dark multiverse or something, so he's kind of like a dark aspect.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, value wise, I don't think it's, in my mind, there's better investments to be had. It probably will pump and like do well. I'm just pretty bullish on like mostly Disney right now, to be honest. I think Disney and Spider-Man are strong, and like DC is good too, but I do think it's a victim of it having that 2.5% fee, and people are just more likely to sell it off.
Yeah,
that's just my take on it, but who knows? I've been proven wrong multiple times. Cool.
That's what the market does to all of us. It just consistently proves us wrong.
Yep. I'm gonna double time it here just to kind of get through chat and catch up. Pixel Trader, Says best deals right now under 750 gems. Already got the Disney cards and Marvel Mighties. Some of the SR comics are down a lot. Yeah, someone like Aaron over at My Collectibles would be awesome for those things. He educated me so much on just like comics in general. I would love to pick his brain more on just what to get. But it seems like the general consensus is like for comics, it's like if you want the secret rare version of pretty much any of like the top 5 or 6 or whatever on the market, like yeah, just go get them. Like if you're thinking about getting them, you might as well just get them because they're always going to go up in value eventually.
All of them do. There are no secret rares that have crashed in value. They hold stronger than pretty much anything, even during these market. There are some exceptions, I guess. Like the what was the secret rare we were talking about that you like with the Thanksgiving covers?
Oh yeah,
fluctuates widely.
But
if you get above the F tier, then those ones hold steady, man.
Yeah. And I think maybe it's just because the secret rares and ultra rares just have like more room to move. But when you're talking like the comics, I mean, they only drop like $1 or $2, right? Maybe $3. I remember that was kind of one person's. I remember it was an interview. I think it was on a Twitter Spaces, but someone it was like a month and a half, 2 months ago. This guy's like, yeah, he literally stacked like 400 or 500 different commons of different comics and stuff. And he's like, I just think these retain their value the most because when there's a gem squeeze or something happening, I mean, he's like, my comics are only going to drop a couple bucks and they tend to recover very quickly because people want them and like Master Collector Program and all that. I'm like, yeah, there you go. That's kind of true.
I just sent you Boodle's tier list, which has everything broken down to like AAA, AA, A, and it has all the tags for edition numbers.
I remember that.
Super useful. Boodle NFT. If any of you aren't subscribed to him, great resource for comics.
Oof, that is very bright. I might have to skip out on that, but I might find a link to that a bit later. All right, let's get through chats. AK Bash, I feel like that's why I'm kind of bullish on Grail comics because you can't really make another Grail comic if that makes sense. Yeah, that's something I brought up to. At least something that I kind of pointed out when I was talking with Aaron over at My Collectibles, which is they can always make more Supermans, Batmans, all that stuff, but like they're done making Fantastic Four #1s. Like they're not going to make any more Marvel Comics #1s. And even when you think about it, like just the black and white series Batmans, I think I counted, not including the Batman Who Laughs and stuff, but there's like 59,000 mints of Batmans just in the like black and white series. That's the equivalent of a comic run. But they're going to come out with more Batmans. You know, they already came out with Killer Croc. And I guess if you want to accept Batman Who Laughs, like now we're talking, you know, almost 80,000 mints at that point, probably closer to 70 or something. But
and the second you come down from commons, you're talking about such a huge reduction in total mint from 21,000 for a standard 30K, you know, comic release, going from 21,000 down to 5,000 for an uncommon. 2,350 for a rare, 1,050, 600. Those are tiny mints. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Mike
for the right comment.
Yeah, Mike Brooks Bank, Elsa or 3 Jokers. If you're looking to hodl long term, I think Elsa as well as Iron Man. I've been saying this for probably about a week now. When the pump does happen, I do think those will move a lot more than the other percentage wise compared to the other golden moments. But if you are into flipping and you like playing that game, I'd say the 3 Jokers for now. So if you're into flipping and you're good at timing the market and you have that like trust in yourself, I'd say 3 Jokers. But if you just want to buy something, hodl and like not worry about it and you just don't want to look at it for 6 months, definitely Elsa.
Since I never get to do any wild speculation, here's a wild speculation for you though. If they do a lenticular card series that's specifically princesses, if they do a singular Disney drop of 3D collectibles of any kind that are Disney princesses, you're gonna wish you had an Elsa.
Yep.
And that's I have one, and I don't even think about it because to me it's just a no-brainer. There's so many related IPs to Disney princesses, and that's such an untapped area of the Disney franchise that for me, having that attached to my portfolio, it's just an essential.
Awesome. Pixel Trader, VV Vault in the house. Thanks for streaming all the drops. Hi, Pixel, no problem. Yeah, we got VV Vault here. Awesome guy. Definitely helped me get
for drops.
Yes, definitely the person has helped me a ton early on.
100%.
Today was a bit rough, but we started playing some stuff in the secondary market. So, I mean, if you don't get the drop, there's always an opportunity, right? Mandomi, has anyone ever tried putting Supergirl behind a Coca-Cola snow globe yet? I'm sure someone has, or someone's tried. Let's see.
You've seen it on Twitter by now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Share that, right?
Yeah, the not suitable for work section on Veve. Anthony Gillen, price predictions for tomorrow's drop. Way out of my element. It's a completely IP I'm not familiar with, and it's the first time they're dropping. So,
yeah, it's unprecedented. It's really going to show us how bullish that the current Veve market is in terms of how many people were listening into that AMA. I think you told me 4K, and I think I mentioned that in my AMA breakdown. 4K people heard David Yu say, China is investing $1 billion a year into NFTs. It's an untapped reservoir of value. So it kind of depends on how many of those people heard that, took that as like evangelical advice, and now I need to spread this like wildfire. If that's happened, then I think those entry points could be pretty high. But if people are like meh, then they won't be.
Yeah, and the mint numbers are, I would say, pretty mid-range. They're not super low like independent artists or anything like that, but like the common has 12,000 mints.
11,888, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then the uncommon is just shy of 9,000. The rare is just shy of, if it'll load for me, of 6,000, and then the ultra rare, which looks pretty cool, I'll admit, is just shy of 4,000.
And these are the four major characters in a show that's been around for over 30 years. I mean, the canon for this show's, you could compare it to like DC or Marvel in some ways not, because they do have hundreds and hundreds of characters. But I mean, if you look at DC or Marvel, even individually, the number of characters involved they're more than that.
Yeah. So
I don't know. There's a lot of similarities and there's a lot of differences. I honestly, at 40 gems entry, I just don't know.
Yeah. I'm under the belief, and I think most content creators are in general, it's like you should just play every drop in general. Like, even if you think it's a trash tier comic or collectible or whatever, like if you can get rid of it, quickly enough, like even today's Batgirl, like, I mean, if you want her, I mean, you could sell her for a small profit, even though it's not a lot of profit. You probably wish you would have got one of the other three. It's still something, right?
There's just a handful of drops that come where that's not the rule, right? Like,
yeah.
When partner statues came, that wasn't the rule. You knew you needed to get this because you're never going to be able to chase it down. But for things like this, I feel like it's going to ebb and flow with the market squeezes. Just because all of the quote unquote Asian market products right now do go up and down with the market. Everyone that's similar right now fluctuates wildly.
Yeah, Steve asks, talking about gems, 1 gem equals $1. I live in Europe. We pay €1 per gem. When is Veve going to fix the foreign exchange aspect? If I worked at Veve, I would let you know. But if, that sounds like a thing you might have to take up with them. Not entirely certain why that is, that exchange.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Veve Vault says I'd stick with FAs. Onto the, I don't know how to pronounce that last part. I sold my Harley Quinn at 1,000. That is solid. If you got in super early, and if it's a low mint, I don't know. Either you had a really low mint, or maybe you were literally one of the first ones to deliver and on the market, and you got that one. Congrats. That's an awesome deal.
That is awesome. What's the average time for you people listening that are typing in the comments? What's the average time for you to get something delivered? If you could just type that in there, I'd be really curious to know, because for me, back in the day, whenever I would actually get things, it would take 3 hours for a comic to deliver to me, and at least an hour and a half to 2 hours for me to get a collectible. And I see people posting on Twitter within 30 minutes, 20 minutes of getting the drop saying it's been received. So I'd be curious to know.
Yeah. Ecomi Wiki is down for maintenance right now, guys. So I would pull it up, but it's just not working right now. So Omi the Clown is working his magic, or sitting on the toilet. Who knows? Whatever. Maybe it's a bit of both. So the whole delivery thing, was that when they were still on the Go chain, or when they changed it over to the layer 2 Ethereum stuff?
I'm pretty sure.
Not layer 2 Ethereum or whatever.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
I
because
kind of feel like ever since I've been on the platform, my delivery times have been really long, and I have the best internet I can buy in my location, but it's not like fiber optic or anything.
yeah, because I think the consensus sounds like it's the delivers are much slower now than they were before. Like GoChain, I think it was just very well optimized just for Veve, and delivers are pretty quick. But ever since they swapped over and merged with Immutable X and did all the reminting and all that kind of unfun stuff,
Yeah.
the deliveries have been slightly slower, it seems. So for me, yeah, there's been times where it takes probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours at times. But then again, I had a friend, he won a drop and he got his delivered within 20 minutes. And he's usually like me, like usually takes 1.5 to 2 hours.
It looks like it's about the same. 1.5 to 2 hours for him. 3 jobs. Yeah. That's sometimes 5 to 25 minutes, sometimes 90 plus minutes. Wow. It's crazy that it varies for them. Yeah, that's something. Those people really have an advantage, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. 14K Gino got a back roll that's mint number 1413 on drop, but I don't know, man, should I hold it with this mint? That's like the exact mints that I typically try to snipe on the market. Like when people, at least like early on in the market, that's what I did. I try to snipe like lowish mints that are like, that have that single first digit. That's the one. So it's like a 4-digit mint. I usually buy those and I'm able to flip it for like a little bit above floor. But now that it's been, a handful of hours after, it's been hours after the drop, things have slowed down. I think the price is pretty much, I don't want to say that at its very bottom, like it could always go lower, but it could start going back up. Like if you're on the fence about whether you want to sell something, it's usually better, especially after the drop, to sell it sooner rather than later. Like that's my take. But for right now, I think Batgirl, I mean, she's at like 60, 70 gems. Like I can't think of what you could even trade it out for if you sold her, like a Groot or maybe like 3 common comics or something. So I just don't see much you can get out of it.
What's the first appearance Batgirl even worth? Like, are any of the Batgirls worth it? My friend got a Batgirl, and all he does every time he messages me, my Batgirl's still worth nothing. I'm never gonna get worth it. For his belly aching nonstop.
It's like, what do you expect? Like, you think it's gonna just fly up to 1,000 one day and just
exactly
and just take off? Like, I don't know what he's expecting. So yeah, Batgirl. The first one is when she is, I think, flipping, and she has the
She's
phone.
Doing that one-handed selfie, right?
Yeah. This one. Let me backtrack here.
Is that Bombshell, maybe?
Yeah, it's the one in the middle on the left. So I'll open that one up. It's going for 180.
An FA at 180, man.
Yeah. It is what it is. And it's Batgirl is, probably not the most coveted, or, I don't know a lot of people that are like, Batgirl's my favorite.
Mid. That's what the cool kids say now. She's mid.
Gotcha.
I don't know what it means.
Mid tier, baby. Can't believe rare FA Spider-Man's down to 1,200. Dude, same. I've been telling people to buy that since it was at like 1,500 and it just keeps squeezing. Veve Vault, I'll let these guys answer. They're better at market evaluations. I'm just the drop guy. I think someone asked a question earlier, and maybe we
just
overlooked
guessing
it.
like everyone else. Veve Vault.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's trends you can look at and stuff, but I told people, I'm like, I think people are really undervaluing like the Spider-Man Marvel Mighties. I'm like, I think Spider-Man's gonna be closer to like 300, Ghost Spider closer to 200, and that kind of happened, but like with the market glitch and then like this gem squeeze is still continuing to happen, so it's like. Yeah, it's a bit weird right now.
Super weird.
Mendes flips. Veve Vault, saw your tweet on Snow Globe. I'm testing right now. LOL. Yeah. I'm assuming the new ones look great. And it's funny because you even mentioned about the artist, right? How he was kind of, getting some pushback as he draws his women.
The designer, Frank Cho. He's like
Mm-hmm.
super famous for drawing like super scandalous but well-formed ladies. Even his Wikipedia says known for drawing well-endowed women. I couldn't believe it that it was like on Wikipedia like that, but he's got like legitimate art books on Amazon teaching you how to draw the female form. So he's not just being plainly vulgar. That's just the style and aesthetic, and people love him for it.
Yeah. Clearly, we got some fans of his work already in here, so and I think it's good. Like you need to have a balance of like you can't just draw all women or even men just super conservatively, right? I think it's nice to have a range of artistic styles
Yes.
and enjoy it and embrace it, right? Um, so let's see. What do y'all think about Disney and Friends? They're great. The fact that they actually like ran up during a gem squeeze and did really well. I mean, people are pulling back a bit because the gem squeeze is continuing. I think it's gonna spill over to Golden Moments, potentially the Steamboat Willies and Spider-Mans, and then after that, Black and White series. But we'll see. I don't know if it's like you said, early MTL. People are also like, wait, we can actually trade gems and not get in trouble for it. Like,
I feel like that might be it. Like, I know that's pure speculation, but ever since we talked about that, I'm like, maybe people are like, I was never gonna do dirty gems because I didn't want to get banned, but if we can trade off app, then I'm down.
Yeah.
Maybe we're seeing, like you said, a pre-MTL era. Are those transactions taxed? I've never tried to do any of that. It might be saving you money, like avoiding Marvel tax fees and stuff like that. To be doing it off app.
I would assume so, because I mean, you have to receive the money somehow, right? Whether it's PayPal or whatever. So like, there is a digital paper trail, let's say, for the most part. So let's see. Choo Choo, would you sell Enterprise UR for gems towards Golden Moments? I probably would, to be honest. Like the Enterprise ships just aren't moving. I don't know where they're at right now in comparison. Like if they're at their bottom, I would have to see what their upper limit was prior to see like, okay, like is it worth actually holding and see if we can get the most out of it. It depends, but trading for that is good.
I try to think in cycles. Like we're in a down cycle, so selling to liquidate to get liquidity to buy things that are already low. It's like I'm undercutting myself, and if I can just be patient a cycle, then I can wait for things to pump, hopefully liquidate then, and then wait for the next squeeze and then go in on those things. And I've increased my liquidity by a huge amount as opposed to trying to middle around with, these low value things right now. That's just me. That's just my strategy. I'm not saying it's the right one.
PlanetVampire.com says, I have 6 Disney friends. I'm holding long term. That's awesome. I'm assuming you have the set if you got 6 of them.
Nice, dude.
Vivi Vault saying hi to you. Dion, Iron Man, Golden Moment, or Spidey 2099. They're nearly about the same price right now. I would say Iron Man.
That's crazy.
To be quite honest. Yeah, and it's nuts. Like Spider-Man with 2099, I think he ran up to like 3.3K or like 3.4 at one point. Which is pretty nuts. Like a couple of days ago.
Like he'll be in the Across the Multiverse Miles Morales movie, but it isn't his movie. You know what I mean? It's still Miles Morales show with 2099 Batman on it kind of movie. Whereas Iron Man is the key figure for the starting stages of the MCU. So in terms of like overall value, I would think as an IP to like the average person, if I took an average person that doesn't know anything at all about comics or any of this geek stuff, this nerd stuff, and I was like, here's a Spider-Man, here's this guy, who do you know better? They're always going to be like, whoa, a golden Iron Man. That's amazing. I don't know.
Let's do this. Kind of want to answer these next couple questions, and I got to run to the bathroom. So like, you can still just keep reading off chat. Just pretend I'm not here. But people are asking, or Mendez Flips, which rarity is your favorite for tomorrow's drop? Everyone, let's do a poll. Tomorrow's drop, I kind of like the ultra rare. Like not just because it's the ultra rare, but I just like the look of her. For the Pilly Fantasy.
Ultra is a dude, brah.
Is it a dude?
It's shirtless. Yeah. It's really a guy.
I couldn't tell because when I look at it, like, I mean, their entire body is like really pale white. It's hard to tell.
They're very androgynous.
Design. I could see that. Well, he looks cool, but let's see, because it's, I don't know, I mean, 3 dudes and that girl at Uncommon. I hope so.
The top 2 are married.
Okay.
And then the guy with the scar on his face, Yi Chao Chai. I'm going to say that wrong. He's like the most badass guy in the series. Like no one can beat him. He's the best sword fighter. And he's the most famous from the series. And then the guy on the bottom, I kind of class him as like, if you're into like D&D nerd stuff, he's kind of like chaotic neutral. And that means he kind of like follows his own code and he'll help good guys or bad guys as long as it kind of like follows his code. believes in a fair fight. So if you see someone, getting wrecked and it's not fair, he always steps in. It doesn't matter what side you're on. And he wants to beat everyone. He wants to be the best.
Gotcha.
Pokemon.
Gotcha. So the rare guy reminds me of what's that sword fighter guy in Game of Thrones? He's like the best swordsman. There's a couple of them actually throughout the series.
The rare reminds me of Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Anyone?
I did not play Final Fantasy. I played.
Doesn't have the right swords, but kind of the hair and everything.
Yeah. I think it's actually I'll pull it up on screen so people know what the heck we're looking at. Yeah, I didn't play Final Fantasy, not because I was against it, but just because it's not what my brothers played. I played a game called Legend of Legaia. It was like a game that kind of came out around the same time as like Final Fantasy VII. It had a super cool fighting mechanic where you could actually make combos by doing like up, down, left, right, and you could like learn combos. And you had your group of 3 people, and one had like was more powerful, the other one was like more combo oriented. You could like capture souls. It sounds like it's almost like an exact copy of Final Fantasy, but it's a great game. I remember I have an emulator on my PC, and I remember playing it not too long. I probably still have it.
Humans have reached the limit due to the Seru, statuesque objects with special abilities. The mist spreads everywhere in the world. Yeah, it looks cool, dude.
Yeah, it's a cool game. Cool. So my favorite one, I do like the I would say the rare, the ultra rare. Like they both look really cool. I mean, if I win any of them, like I'll be happy. I might flip it. I'll just have to keep like a really close eye on how they do in the market. So let's see. VCur, is it possible for an account of 25K to be able to make 100K by holding grails? I would say yes. Especially since we're in a very like bear market right now. Things could explode. Like I would also stick with grails that like have a history of just exploding out of nowhere, like Todd or Steamboat Willie's heavily discounted right now. Like in my mind, when you ask that question, immediately what came to mind is like, yeah, grab a Todd, grab a Steamboat Willie. That leaves you with what, like 7K left over, and you could double up on Steamboat Willie. But there's probably other stuff. Superman has got me weary at times, where it's like he's down a lot. But I mean, he could rebound just as well. But I mean, people. That's one thing I've learned is to like not doubt the community. When the community says something is going to happen, if enough people say it and believe it, like it's going to happen. And you have whales coming in for the first time, and if everyone's talking about Todd all the time, they're gonna buy a Todd. And people for a while have been saying Todd's gonna hit 100K at the end of the year, so it wouldn't surprise me.
What do you think about that?
100K at the end of the year? I think.
What do you think?
Let's just do yearly predictions. Why not? What's gonna happen 11 months from now?
Do you want to do a quick bathroom break? Do you got like a bathroom break thing? Because I have to go to the bathroom too. You said you had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, let's do that.
We should synchronize our bladders for the benefit of these people watching.
I think they'll thoroughly enjoy that. All right, cool. Give me a couple minutes.
I'll be right back.
I'll just make sure that this next song is not going to give me an ad. Maybe I'll like turn up the music for you guys. Ha, it is an ad. I'll wait for these ads to finish. I was gonna at least have some, and I need to have like an outro thing. Like there's so much stuff I need to do to like make the stream like look cool and all that stuff. So I hope you guys bear with me in the meantime. All right, this ad should be done here. Because I'm on Spotify and I don't have, like, I have an account, but I don't have like an upgraded account or whatever it's called. I hope it's just one ad. It's 2 ads. Oh my gosh. He's gonna beat me back here. I'll be like, I haven't gone yet. I was waiting for the ads to finish. So, you guys had some music to listen to. I can hear him. He's coming back. Maybe not. Yeah, would have been long. Let's go. Come on, please be done. Oh my god, I give up. I give up.
Shazah! Cha-cha-cha. You there? Am I here? I might be the only one here right now. I'm not sure. Let's check Discord. Is this call still on? Channel's gone. All right, I'm not even sure where he was. Scroll up. It's possible account. We already read that one. Please check Goofy chart price prediction. I got so lucky. And I got it on the drop. You did get lucky, man. All right. I actually can't even use my phone for the market checker because I'm using my phone for the camera. So we're going to have to wait for old boy to get back for that one. Let's see. Scroll. I'm usually not in the driver's seat here. Our bathroom synchronization failed us. Scrolling. We already did that one. We already did this one. There's the Marvel milestone. I'll stick with that phase. We already did that one. We already did that one. Sorry, guys. And gals. Time for maintenance. What? Walt end of year price prediction. I don't think we did that one. Right now, I think the last time I checked was like 38K or something like that. My buddy messaged me and he's like, dude, Walt's tanking. And I was super freaked out. I was like, maybe it's really legitimately tanking. And I look and it's like down 2K or something. I think 100K potentially. Kind of depends on the growth on the app. Like if the app keeps pumping like it is, then potentially. Let's see. Would you sell the set of Mickey and Friends cards to get the equivalent value? Oh, we already did that one. I like the FA back roll. I also like the FA back roll. It's great for like vault pictures too. I see those on Twitter all the time.
I'm going to show you guys my roommate's dog. I think I showed it last time.
Let's see that puppy.
She just ran into my room. Oh, I'll hold her. It's, her name is Biscuit, the pug. I think she's
Biscuit.
9 months old or something like that. Pretty young.
Do you ever feed Biscuit gravy?
Maybe pour gravy on her. No, never feed her gravy. My roommate would
love
like
biscuits and gravy.
My roommate would occasionally give her like peanut butter, like on a treat or like inside of a Kong or whatever to keep her busy for a while. But yeah, she's just chilling right now.
Did you do the Walt end of year price prediction?
400,000.
I saw that on the list.
Was it
400,000?
I don't just throw it.
You heard it here first.
But yeah, so
I think 100K is like pretty conservative.
I'd say so. And so back to Todd, or back to the V question. I definitely think it could. And honestly, could Todd hit 100K by the end of the year? I would say unlikely. But even if he did fall around 60, like that's not a failure by any means. People are like, oh, it failed. It's like, no, it's still an extremely good return on investment. So I think it'll. The hard part is like there's so many catalysts that could have, like we're gonna have ETH whales coming on. If we have OMI to NFT, like before, for a few months before the end of the year, like that's another big thing. Like there are people that own quite literally billions of OMI, or even someone like Randy who owns, how much money does he have? I think he has like
I think he has
150. I think he has like 150 million or something like that. A lot.
Yeah, I'm a millionaire. No big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have heat or electricity, but I'm a millionaire.
Exactly.
Like everyone on the app right now?
Pretty much. Just like I took out a massive loan to afford this. I know Cody Thrive did that to afford his second Spider-Man Secret Rare. He said he was like paying off credit card debt, or like he's like, yeah, I'm still paying it off, and I had to deal with the bank and stuff, and but as far as I know, he bought it all off app, which is quite. If you know the right people, that's the way to do it. If you're gonna spend that much money, like,
yep. Because I saw him like kind of pitching on Twitter. I got one off app. If anyone else wants to sell off app, I've got the escrow. And worked out for him. You know, can't fault a guy for the hustle.
Exactly. But yeah, so at least for like, honestly, if I had a bet that like what's gonna hit 100K by the end of the year, and like the stuff that's on platform right now, like there could be another huge NFT that drops a month from now, 6 months from now, that could potentially just explode, and you just see like a higher ROI, like short term. But if I had to, like, I'd probably get a Todd, a Steamboat Willie, and I don't know what I would do with like the last 6K. I don't know. I'd have to like look at the market, but or just get 2 Todds and some other stuff.
I think between the MCP, once the MCP rolls out and everyone's buying up everything for those points to rank themselves, market supply is going to smash, and that's going to drive value. And then the other thing we were talking about, they said 300,000 accounts banned, and they also said that those NFTs are going to be tied to those accounts forever unless, you know, they verify KYC information, which is not going to happen for a bot account. So I wonder how many NFTs that is. 300,000 accounts that they're recording on that article. So who knows what the real number is, but even if all of those just had one on it, that's a lot of supply that's just poof, gone.
Yeah. Sorry, I was gone I had to let my roommate's dog out, but yeah,
We'll miss you, Biscuits.
Yeah. Whenever she starts getting hyper, I call her Bisquick because she starts like running around, starts getting the zoomies. Let's see. I really get my delivered in under an hour. Okay, yeah. Brandon Britt says my friend has gotten 3 drops in the past 2 to 3 weeks. Every time it takes him 2 to 3 hours for him, I've gotten 4 drops.
Yeah. Seems pretty consistent, the times for delivery.
Yeah, some people think it might be like
if you had like fiber, you just got it, or maybe you were super close to the servers or something. Maybe you were getting it quick.
Yeah, sometimes it varies wildly. Apparently deliveries are going out faster too. That's good. Well, end of year prediction, yeah, I'm not sure. It could be 100K. Again, if celebrities get on platforms, if certain social circles or like collectors get into on the app, you know, Omi to NFT, all that stuff. Like there's so many catalysts for it to go up, but there's also a lot of catalysts for it to just kind of like stay where it's at, right? If they just
there's already like a club around it, right? There's like Club 33. If you're Disney partners, they're like lobbying for more utility for it. So like owning that will get you into whatever Disney World, Disneyland. And then you got people like Andre Jick who have one. And what does he talk about whenever that guy puts out a video, and in 1 hour that video has like 47,000 million likes and stuff. So a few people like that are like, check out this thing I bought for, you know, $5,000 and it's worth, you know, $75,000 now.
Yeah.
It's gonna make a run.
Pixel Trader, best golden moments to go for under 5K right now. Said feels like C3PO and Sorcerer's Hat would rock at any moment. I could see that. C3PO he's already gone up quite a bit. I remember he was hanging around, gosh, the high 3K for a while, like 3.8. Like this was like less than a week ago. And now he's
cool thing about C3PO is he's the right color already. You know, people talk about R2D2 is going to tank whenever a real clone of R2D2 drops because some collectors are going to hate that it's golden and they're going to want one that looks exactly like the real character. Well, C3PO almost already looks like the real character, so yeah, something there.
Or a real collector would just have both. Like just I'm gonna have the golden version, and then I'll have the normal version for, you know, whatever I'm gonna do on the app or the Veve verse.
You see Dozer and Comics and Crypto. I don't know if you guys watch his channel. You should if you're into comics. He puts out great. I think he's switching to a Spanish only channel though, with DeLargo. But he has the 1976 C3PO and R2D2. He's matched the mints for the year. Major.
That's huge.
It's super huge.
Yeah. Let's see if the ecomi wiki is still down. Let's go. More chatting, more speculating. This is what we're here for, people. I love it. I thoroughly enjoy this too. Like as much as I like crunching numbers and getting very granular with like market stuff, I like just talking about random stuff.
I kind of hopped on because I saw that you didn't have a market ticker, and
like,
I was like, he's not going to be having fun right now.
Yeah. So I should sell my Joe Mad for Steamboat Willie or anything else. I don't know how far down Joe Mad is. A lot of people consider him like the number 4 below Becky, Rizzo, and Todd. So it's like, he's pretty good. I don't know. It's so hard without like the market graphs, to be quite honest, but that's not a bad move either. I'm assuming the uncommon, because they're probably like more, they're probably closer in price. Yeah,
So
but
when Ecomi wiki crashes, does cherry charts crash too? Are they like tied into the same API, or are they different things?
I don't know. It might not be an API thing. It could just be, I mean, the clown's like updating the website to like maybe add some more like aesthetic or some other stuff. I'm not entirely sure. So it could be API, but it also could just be him like, I need the server down for a bit to do something.
Gotcha.
Because I know there was a spot on his website in the bottom left that said it was called coming soon, but it's called like Mint Hunters, like so people could like post like low mints and stuff.
Nice.
I doubt that's what it is, but like that could be a thing.
That'd be cool though. Sleeping Comics does that. If you guys are into comics, on Sleeping Comics channel, he has a link to his website. And on that website, obviously, he has all of his tier lists for his comics and all that good stuff, which is just like a great resource if you're into comics. But he also has compiled a database for people to enter in the mint numbers of secret rares that they own. And it's kind of cool because now we're getting to see, you know, who's holding what, at least, you know, people that are reporting it. So that's kind of cool. If you're into that kind of thing, definitely check that out.
I did not know that. That's actually really cool. Especially like doing a database for obviously the commons, uncommons. It's just like way too many, but secret rares, I mean,
that'd be awful.
That's pretty cool. So selling the Joe Mad, I don't think that's a terrible move. I will say I do think the Steamboat Willies would probably pump first before the Batman black and whites. But that's just, again, or who knows? Maybe that's just an amalgamation of just like Marvel, DC, like they could all pump, but like it's within 3 days, and some of them might overlap, or maybe some of the black and white series Batmans go up, other ones stay there, and like the other ones will go up a couple days later. No one knows. We're just speculating, but that's what I would assume. Christian says Dolores time machine worth holding. I think you mean DeLorean. Dolores's time machine. DeLorean time machine.
Lesser known, it's ran by Fritos and Dale Popcorn.
And a banana peel. Yes.
I love those, man. I'm like, that's my era. Collect the things you love is a thing I like to say. And for me, I love those. And I do think, for me, long term, they've got value. I
think so too. It's pretty dependent on the Veve verse. If you're trying to look for like flipping, they're not bad. Again, just like everything else, you kind of have to play the gem squeezes with the DeLoreans, but they do have a decent amount of movement and like price action occasionally. But it's a bit of more of a patient hodl if you're like trying to do flipping.
And there's just like that association that when people think of the metaverse, a lot of people think of Ready Player One just by association, because Ready Player One perhaps was their like introduction into the idea of something like a metaverse. And because of the value of the DeLorean in that series, like, do you know any of the like trivia with that? I won't get super deep into it.
For what?
The Ready Player One giveaway Easter egg thing that he did, the author?
Oh, the author? No. Not that I know of.
Okay, so the author in the physical print run of the book, he published it himself. This was before he became a big deal. Inside of the book, there were minor errors on the pages, and if you compiled those errors, you could unlock a code, which would take you to a website, which started a giant like geocache scavenger hunt. And once you found the geocache, you claimed the Easter egg, you would get a DeLorean. But no one knew any of this. Like, he didn't tell anyone. It was just, you flip through the book and you're like, that letter looks a little weird. So you had to like just put that all together. And because of that, the DeLorean gained like even more notoriety to people that are into the metaverse. So that's kind of like a weird trivia thing that kind of ties into what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's like the whole thing of, or am I thinking about a different movie where there was like a ton of like Easter eggs and stuff? Like it takes place in a similar like metaverse looking thing. It definitely wasn't Ready Player One, was it? But there was just like a ton of Easter eggs, and the guy that like made the whole game like left a bunch of clues and stuff like that. He was like waiting for someone for like to figure it out.
Ready Player One, man.
Is it? Okay, good. It's been so long since I've seen the movie, but yeah. Well, by the way, someone just floored a Doctor Doom at 1.199, so basically 1.2K, which is like 150 below the next one. I'm bringing that up because we had a question from Brandon Jacobs. Do you think I should change the price of my Doctor Doom Mighty? It's 182, listed for 1.7k. Let's check out what the other mints are surrounding it. Like, this is typically what I do. If I'm not sure like how much to price a mint, I just look at the surrounding ones. But at the same time, I can see Doctor Doom probably being one of the first Marvel Mighties to like really take off if like there is a pump happening in that like section of the thing. Like, I think all the villains would go up first. Like Green Goblin, Doctor Doom, and Red Skull would all go up first, and then followed by everyone else, because there's just less villains, and they're the higher rarity, and they're cooler in my opinion than some of the other like hero counterparts.
The only catalyst to that would be with the MCU Phase 5 rolling in the X-Men, because there's a bunch of X-Men collabs and standalone movies and MCU Phase 5, and it kind of just depends on how audiences are going to react to that. If people freaking love it and they actually do the Fantastic Four right for once in a movie, because they've just drug that franchise through the mud. Yeah. But if they do it right, that thing's set to pop. I mean, I would say the heroes and the villains would just go for it. Doctor Doom's so epic. Like, they have not done him right in movies, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most people know these characters by the movies. Most people aren't reading the comic books, and they're not super into the canon and the lore.
Yeah, or the shows and stuff that really have more opportunities to show off, you know, the quote unquote power level. Like, it's the same thing with Star Wars. Like, people look at the movies and you know, they're like, oh, General Grievous is this strong, or Dooku, but it's like I haven't seen any of the Clone Wars like cartoons and stuff, but like they do a better job. Like, there's just more screen time with the villains and the superheroes, so you get a better idea of what their power level really is, rather than like just the movies. Because in the movies you can only condense so much information and so much cool things you could do, and put the bad guys or the good guys in different scenarios so that they can't show off how powerful they are. So yeah, I mean, where it's at right now, Brendan, I think it's Brandon, yours is pretty well priced. Like, if someone wanted a low mint Doctor Doom, like if I really wanted one, like I would pick yours up. Like, it is undercutting 100%. A lot of it. I think it's in a good spot. If you're looking to get rid of it sooner rather than later, like now's in a good spot. Like, and again, like, who knows? Like, you could maybe squeeze out 1.8, 1.9, but it's like if you're trying to get rid of it, I wouldn't.
That's a really good price, dude. Like, I would have listed it at like 2 probably. It's like if I was really trying to get rid of it, even. Yeah, 2
or awesome. So yeah, I mean, like, you could increase the price a bit, but it sounds like, I don't know if you're asking like how much more could I get out of it for a sale, or you're like, should I just hodl this and wait? To both answers, yes. Or both questions, yes.
1.7K, I would buy it from you right now, but I don't. So
yeah.
Recover market.
Yeah, Dion, Joker FA or Amazing Spider-Man? Rare FA? I assume Joker for short-term, mid-term profit, and Rare Spidey for long-term. Pretty much, Dion. I would say the same thing. Like, Joker's really low, so is the Rare Spidey. Legend of Legaia was awesome. OG game. It is a great game. It was a lot of fun. Very repetitive. Like, I'm assuming it's the same thing with like the old school Final Fantasy game. Once you find a certain combo of moves or a certain thing, you just do that over and over and over. Like, there's no reason to not do the most optimized, you know, rotation or whatever it is.
Sweep kick. Yeah. Sweep quick. Stop it.
Yeah. Let's see. Brandon Pitt, do you think you can stream tomorrow after the drop? Maybe give us some post-drop flip tips. Yeah, someone asked me about that. I can maybe do it. As you guys can tell, like, my stream is already like struggling right now, but like I can't do a live stream with the drop, because like I almost know for certain like I'm not going to win the drop if I like live stream and try to do the drop at the same time. But even with tomorrow's drop, it's going to be kind of hard, because like with Wonder Woman, I knew she was going to do the best out of the 4, at least just like holding her value, because like I just know that IP or just like the characters very well. But like tomorrow's drop it's going to be the Wild West, and everyone else is going to be off the rails, and I'll probably make some terrible decisions at some point. So if I were to like go for sniping and all that stuff, but it's not something I'm against the idea of, but we'll see. I'll definitely let you guys know like before the drop if I am going to do it. If not, then, you know, I'm still working on a video of, I'm going to try and make an end of month prediction based on what I think is going to happen. Like, hey, this is all low, but I think basically Disney's going to pump first, followed by Spider-Man, followed by Black and White series, and this is how I think the market is going to adjust to it, and this and that. But yeah, I'd much rather stream than make videos. I think you mentioned that the other day too, Corey, when you're like, I kind of like the streaming thing. You just turn on the camera and you talk, and like it's so much better than doing research and then having to edit videos for hours on end and you know make sure everything's perfect and synced up. Like, once it's set up, it's done. So there is that. I know that was quite a tangent about tomorrow's stream. If I were to do one,
yeah, think about it, man.
Yeah, Sedge. Hey, should I sell my Cat Bronson for an Iron Man? I would say yes. I don't know what the difference is. Let me look.
Big following for Cat Bronson.
You think so?
I think only 888 of those minted. There's like a group of, it's almost like an ape group of people that like are hodling those. I don't know. If I don't know anything at all about NFTs or IPs, I would be like Iron Man every time, but I don't know.
Where? Oh, there it is. I guess I didn't scroll down far enough. And I think that would be a really good topic for another, group stream or whatever is talking about like independent artists and like which ones are kind of getting slept on or which ones aren't. Because I mean, just from sheer research, infinitely more about these independent artists than I do. I just look at them strictly as like a value thing. I'm like, yeah, they start high, they taper off, they go away, and like whatever, who cares? Like, but I don't know about like the communities that are dwelling in the corners of the internet that really like it.
It's like the most fun thing about my stream is whenever these new things drop, I know absolutely nothing, but by the time I've produced, researched, and edited everything, I'm like, I actually know a lot about this now. It's kind of like you're just passively gaining experience points. Check. Yeah.
Well, someone, I remember watching a YouTube video, but it was so true. They're like, literally, life is nothing more than just an RPG video game. Like you have an X amount of time. It's like, all right, you're gonna level up your strength and go to the gym, or you're gonna level up your intellect and watch this, or your wisdom by like you make a mistake, or you're gonna learn from it and like remember to tell someone else. It's like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I remember I thought about doing this at one point. I would have to obviously upgrade my hardware and do a lot of stuff, but I thought about doing a D&D stream with Veve content creators, doing like every other week.
That'd be cool.
Or like once a month. And I was like, it'd be nice to get, a combination of like smaller streamers, but also some big hitters like Randy Chavez and this and that, or people that are familiar with it. Because Sleeping in Comics said he plays D&D right now. He used to play a lot as a kid, but now I think he only plays with like close friends and stuff occasionally. So when he said that in one of his recent videos, I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Like, dude, I'm like, hey, I thought about doing this. Like, but again, it's a ways off. There's a ton of growth happening like on the platform. People are literally busy day to day. Like all the content creators, like every day there's something new to talk about and like make content on. And yeah, it's
agreed. I mean, there's not enough time. I would be a chaotic, neutral barbarian with a hamster. Has anyone played Baldur's Gate and Minsk? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? He has the hamster. That's who I'd be. You would never know what I was gonna do. So good.
He's the Minx is like the bald guy, right, with the face tattoo and stuff. Yeah. I just played some Baldur's Gate 2 last week. I know Baldur's Gate 3 is out, and I played that quite a bit, but that Baldur's Gate 2 is just a continuation of that same story. All right, so got a lot of nerd talk out of the way, but me personally, I would get rid of Cat Bronson for Iron Man like any day of the week. But I think in general, with the millions of people that are going to be coming on the app, there'll probably be some people that love Cat Bronson, but like just the overall popularity of just Marvel and superheroes, like you have to appeal to just the masses. Like, what are the masses going to understand and want?
And then the other issue with like groups, and Boodle NFT talked about this when Hitmonkey was pumping so hard. It's because like another kind of ape-ish group collected all the Hitmonkeys and they held the price and they pushed it. Anytime you're a part of that, you're potentially going to get pulled. Like you're going to get a rug pull, and you're not going to be hip to what the top dogs are doing. So for me, no one's going to rug pull an Iron Man because of what it is. It has mass appeal, whereas something like these designer toys, they just feel a lot more manipulatable.
Yeah. Let's double time it, but I do see Chris at the very bottom. Sup, Bash, just got done with a long shift. I wouldn't sell my Cat Bronson for Iron Man, but I wouldn't buy Cat Bronson over Iron Man. That's an interesting perspective because I've done that before.
Contradictions. I love it.
Yeah, but
That's a good point.
Well, because sometimes people will say, hey, this or that, you know, they'll say Steamboat Willie or this, you know, and the other one's not like a, you know, they'll say this Spider-Man or this Steamboat Willie. And I'll tell them, like, if you own Spider-Man, don't sell it for Steamboat Willie. If you own Steamboat Willie, just hodl. And if you have gems, buy Steamboat Willie. You know, it's like there's some, you know, sometimes people don't give the full scope of this. Yeah, this scenario. Yeah, like there's definitely gray where it's like, I tell people, they're like, oh, should I do this? I'm like, yes. I'm like, wait, hold on. Do you own this one? Or do you just have the gems? And they're like, no, I own it. I'm like, I don't know, like you're going to eat an 8.5% fee. And like, okay, I can see the difference. Like you would have to make up an extra like 300 gems. Like, all right, maybe not. So there is a point, but that's good though. Like that's kind of the thought process I'm trying to encourage my just viewers to have is like, what's another move I can make? Like this thing I have isn't doing that well, or maybe it's not as popular as I think. Could I trade it for another popular IP or another thing? I think if you're thinking that way in general, like you're going to be ahead of the curve.
Agree.
Picked up Supergirl for $244 and a Harley for $600. Feel a little sick that it's down a lot, but I'm 100%. It's undervalued, not FA, but one of, if not the best looking Harley. Picked it up for 100%. The misses. Yeah, if you're picking up for the misses, I mean, it's priceless. You just gotta bite the bullet, whatever it's at. Yeah, exactly. Tartan Spartan. So, Jason, and like it sounds like your wife's not gonna get rid of it anytime soon. So it'll go up in value. It's gonna be profitable. Jason Amada, I know of a group looking to buy up Todd's in this coming week, debating whether to pick one up. Maybe. It won't surprise me if people are looking to. I mean, Todd has been kind of consolidating for a while. I do think he's primed for a pump at some point in the near future. Dion, definitely undervalued. Plenty more grails to come, guys. Remember, still Vader, Yoda, Little Mermaid, still everything, Wolverine. Like, there's still so many big things. Even comics. Yeah, even comics, like there's still Amazing Fantasy, and there's still like, I asked other comic people too, I don't remember the names. I just remember Amazing Fantasy, and like they still list off like 3 or 4 other ones that are like really, really high tier that have yet to come. So there's good things.
Just think what's about to drop. Like we're gonna get an FA for Black History Month. I mean, that's got to be Blade, Black Panther, Luke Cage, Bishop. I mean, there's all of them are solid. Like literally any of those are solid. I know everyone doesn't love Luke Cage, but I love Luke Cage. Okay, so
yeah. I really hope they do a Bishop Cable combo. That'd be kind of cool together. Just put those two together. I really hope in the future, and I think I mentioned this last time, was like I hope they do more like hero villain combos where well, you know, they put their nemesis next to the other person. Wolverine is tough because he has like a lot of nemesis. I think there's a lot of people that hate Wolverine. I'm thinking like there's Sabretooth, but then there's like Lady Deathstrike and like Omega Red and some face-offs between like him and the Hulk. And there's a few other ones, but like, you know, Wolverine is he just gets in fights with everyone, and they kind of just become rivals for a while. Alternative Spotify. I'll have to check that out. Number 32. Have you ever tried streaming music using Pretzel Rocks? As long as you have a Twitch account.
Rocks.
I haven't heard of that, but it sounds cool. I want to keep it like I usually do lo-fi music just because it's relatively chill. I don't have to worry about like super loud noises or music or like kind of anything crazy. And it's supposed to be good for the vibes, you know?
So we're not going to have any dance parties on this channel.
Unlikely. Let's see. Rumor has it that C-3PO might actually be the true Star Wars FA and was before R2-D2. I thought that was the case. For a while. Maybe I was like thinking wrong for a while. But I thought that was always the case. But I thought people just like see like R2-D2 more.
I kind of thought that was the case too.
Yeah.
It's common, uncommon, right? I'm not losing my mind, am I? I literally have that set, but they got vaulted, and I never even look at them, honestly. They just chill in there.
That's good thought. LeGroin James, another fire stream. Thank you. LeGroin James. Tartan Spartan. Storm's a great buy right now. Black Panther 2 movie coming. She may be important. I agree. Not financial advice, of course, just like Tartan Spartan. But like Storm is always a great buy. Like I've been saying that for a while now. FA X-Men, FA Storm. Who cares about the hair? Like it'll all work itself out in the end. But she is if she's going to be making an appearance in the movie, I don't think she'll break through the gem squeeze, but I think she'll make some movement.
I mean, in the comics, they get married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a pivotal relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just can't imagine that they're not going to pump in tandem. No pun intended.
Giggity. Brandon Britt. Cox, 500 downloaded, 12 ping. Maybe ping up checked. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of like similar to what I have. I usually have like low double digits ping. And I think I have Cox internet as well. Pixel Trader, I'm expecting some epic drops in Star Wars anniversary, May 4th. Okay, May the 4th be with you. Or at least sometime in May, low mint SR Spider-Man on the floor. Interesting. Maybe that happened a while ago. I'm sure maybe it's still sitting there because, Spider-Mans are expensive. They're not just going to get scooped up super quick, I imagine. But I'm going to look that up as let's see. That's the rare. See? That's why you buy the rare version. It looks just like the SR. Someone might make a mistake. Yeah, wow, there's two of them. A 184 and a 173 on floor. I'll pull this up. I mean, low triple digits right there. I mean, there's quite a few, actually. I mean, then again, there is only 1,000 mints, but still, yeah,
I just plugged into market, bro.
Yeah. 184, 173. There's even a 121, but that one's at like 76K. Yeah, if any of you guys...
Ecomi Wiki might be rolling now.
Oh, nice.
I was just able to log in.
Nice. So if any of you guys have 70,000 gems just laying around, you guys should swoop one up real quick. Seems pretty easy.
I'm over here like, if I had 1.7K gems, I would buy your Dr. Doom. And you're like, if you just got 70K.
Yeah, if you got
sitting in your pocket burning a hole.
If you got that pocket change, that's what I would do, for the most part. So let's see here. Let's open those are not right. There we go. Cool. Let's see what else we got here. Wiki back up. Hey, what's up, Chris? Nomad with guitar. I know a guy in Veve Illuminati, a Discord channel for the elite of the elite millionaires with dozens and dozens of accounts. Each they manipulate the markets all the time. It doesn't surprise me at all whatsoever, to be honest.
Right? Like that's the market. Any market that you could talk about.
I guess someone in Fight Club talked about Fight Club, it seems. Dax G,
be careful, Nomad with guitar. They might be coming for you now.
Yeah, they might put some hits out on some people. Dax G, I think I'm gonna get Supergirl if she drops to 191. Sure. I mean, if you want to get, it's hard to tell. They're so new, and they are literally happening in the middle or hopefully at the tail end of a gem squeeze. So it's hard to tell if that's a good buy or not. But if you're a fan of the thing, like just go for it, dude. But if you're thinking of buying that in a short term or like a medium term flip, there's probably better options. Kat Bronson will be bought for ETH faster, also 2.5% fees. Yeah. I'm kind of curious. So Chris, do you know if you can go from, if I sell an NFT on Immutable X, or let's say I buy an NFT on Immutable X, that's a Veve NFT, can I move it back to Veve? Do you know if that's something I'm able to do? Because I know you pretty much lose all of like the VR capability and all the cool stuff that you get with Veve if you move it off platform. But like, can I then like transfer it back to Veve if I own it somehow? Or once it's off app,
done forever.
Yeah, if it's off app, then it's off forever. Because if that's the case, that's very interesting. I'm kind of curious if that's the case. But in the meantime, Ecomi Wiki's back up. Hello, everyone in the chat. Thank you for the live stream. Thanks, Don. So my Wonder Woman for 350 today, and I got her on drop. Stack some undervalued, quote unquote, comics. Miles Morales, I'm assuming. Senj. Okay, I got one more question. Secret Rare Storm or Golden Moments about to 3,500. Not sure what to buy. I would say Golden Moments, like hands down, over Secret Rare Storm. Like I know even Randy is selling his Secret Rare Storm slowly but surely. I think he owned like 5 or 6 at one point. Now he's down to like 3. It looks cool. The animation's cool. But I would go with the Golden Moment.
Cool? Like
where she shoots the lightning forward.
Am I the only guy? I don't know. I don't love the animation. I'm sorry. Like
it's very jerky. I'll give
the guy, but I'm just like I don't know, guys.
Yeah, I like the concept. It's one of the more I don't know, I like that. I guess Spider-Man does it too. I said, I like the fact that she actually like shoots out lightning and stuff. But I mean, Spider-Man shoots out his web and stuff. At least like the secret rare version.
That looks cool though. To
Yeah.
me, like, that animation looks cool. I don't know. I can see it like in vaults. I see people using the electricity effect in vaults, and I'm like, that's really awesome. But in totality, I don't know. I think the Wonder Woman, the Invisible Woman's animations, maybe it's like the exact same kind of rendering. I don't know. Don't know how I feel about Marvel these days. Like, I just feel like DC annihilates 3D statues, and Marvel just gives us 3D statues. They do their best.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's probably a bit easier to render with higher detail with the DC because there's already statues that they have, and they probably already have some sort of rendering, something going on. But when it comes to Marvel, they probably have to make it from the ground up. Or I'm assuming they get help from Marvel with rendering or whatever they need to do for kind of the outline of the superhero. But yeah, and plus like those DC statues are made by like actual artists that like that's their profession. It's like make it look as aesthetically pleasing as possible.
But just do like a Google search for like Marvel Spider-Man illuminated sculpture with Green Goblin and Spider-Man, and look at that. Like those are the kind of like 3D models we could be getting. I don't know. I just wish they would tap into some of these. Like Marvel has an awesome line of physical toys, and I just wish we would see more representation of that on the platform. I'm done complaining, everyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Hamoon, thank you so much for the, is that £2 or €2? I don't know. What's up, Vibes? Dude, thank you so much for stopping by.
Hey, thank you. You're awesome, man.
And is that, God, what's his name? I'm looking at the character, his icon, the purple guy. Looks like purple Daffy Duck or whatever. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't
see it. It's so tiny on my screen.
It is small, but I have seen it before. I forgot the name of it. Let's see what else is next. What's a good pick? Bruce Tim, Harley Quinn, or Daisy Duck? I'd probably pick Daisy, but let me pull those up really quick in the meantime.
Bruce Tim, Harley Quinn. That's the one.
That's the FA. Yeah, it's the FA. I had to double check. With that price,
will there be more lenticular cards? Will there not be more lenticular cards? That's
the question.
For my side of the answer. If there are more lenticular cards, it's going to be a lenticular card over anything right now. If there aren't ever going to be any more lenticular cards, then it's going to be other things.
That's what it is.
Just kind of how I feel about it. I feel like the value of lenticular cards are going to be contingent on the production of a lot more lenticular cards. Because it's going to give them a lot more history. It's going to be a category like comics. If that happens, then lenticular cards, strap onto those. Hold on tight.
Yeah. Yeah, Darkwing Duck. That's what his name was.
Darkwing Duck. Let's
Darkwing
dangerous.
Duck. Yes, that's what it was. For the most part. Yeah, oof.
Yeah, it is. It's so small for me. It's just like a tiny little...
Yeah, it was really hard to make out. I'm sorry if the stream is like lagging a lot, guys. Again, like my computer. Someone mentioned earlier, they're like, oh, what kind of a, I kind of gave them some of my specs, and they're like, geez, you got a 4th gen, like CPU or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Hamster cranked, something or another. I do need to upgrade at some point.
Biscuits just running on a treadmill in the back, powering your computer.
Yeah. Yeah, gee, still a little chunky after all that exercise. Yeah, like I would have like upgraded some stuff, but like just online, everything is just so expensive. People have been scalping a lot of just computer hardware, just gaming consoles and stuff, just in general, for the last like 2 years. It seems last like year and a half for sure.
Yeah.
My roommate had in some ways it's actually better to buy pre-built, just because that's what my roommate did a while back. He just bought like a huge like pre-built thing. Let's see. Falcon FA rare comic, super undervalued. I think so. I think some people did buy those. But me personally, I think right now I would go with Daisy Duck. I would think Daisy Duck would go up first before Bruce Tim Harley Quinn. Even though all the lenticular cards did go up and they've pulled back, I think once this gem squeeze is over, they're going to go up again. So I would say Daisy Duck, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, Falcon FA Rare comic cover, absolutely undervalued. Absolutely agree. Super limited edition size, exclusive cover. Falcon is going to be Captain America and Captain America 3. That one's solid.
Yeah. Eli the Prophet. How come Hot Girl hasn't blown up, seeing that she's an ultra rare and only FA compared to the DC female superheroes? It's mostly just popularity. There's not a lot of there hasn't been any movies, shows, anything recently with Hawk Girl in it. I remember like everything on the app is kind of appealing to the masses. So whatever MCU movie comes out or DC, anything like that related. And it's actually a bit of advice I gave on one of Andrew Ellis's videos a while back, which is for newer people. I'm like, focus on what's popular. Like ignore ultra rare, ignore mint numbers. Like what is popular between them? Pay attention to FA and stuff like that, but it's like stick to what's popular.
There was like a big rumor that there was going to be a Hawk Girl in the Dwayne Johnson Black Adam movie. Really? And I was like, Hawk Girl is going to do really good because The Rock knows how to bring the heat, and his movies are always popular. He's a popular dude. And last time I looked, and don't quote me, the last time I looked, that wasn't going to be happening. I haven't looked recently to see if there's any future. I try to like keep my kind of eye on what's happening. But what is this? Elza Gonzalez, the first female Mexican superhero. Yeah, I'm still not seeing anything for the future of her. If any of you know of a future casting or movie with Hawk Girl in it, please link it to me so I can compile that into my little research database.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And arguably too, like if you ask someone like, hey, name off some female superheroes, they're more likely going to say Supergirl, Wonder Woman, and all those way before like Hawk Girl. I think a lot of people don't even know Hawk Girl even exists, to be quite honest. If you just ask random people like off the street, or just ask the majority of people Fair. On the app like before that time. So again, ignore the rarity, like, and all that stuff. I know a lot of people focus. Same thing with like people were saying like, well, what about the Enterprise or the DeLorean? Like the ultra rares, like ultra rares, you have to contain it to like in that series in and of itself. You can't compare it to other ultra rares in like different IPs or like different series. It's self-contained in its thing. So some people are saying like, oh, why is the secret rare so cheap? It's 200 gems. It's like, there's a reason. And that's another thing too. It's like, it's unlikely that with 1 million, what is it? Almost 2 million active users, that 2 million active users just like overlooked this like group of like NFTs and it's not like there's in the grand scheme of things, there's not that many NFTs to like really look at yet.
Here it is. I found it.
Okay.
Shazam 2. So that's the tie-in. I knew something. So Black Adam initially was rumored to be using Hawk Girl, but they weren't able to because the IP was being used already. And then Shazam 2, the rumor, and that's been released by like Hollywood insiders, that there's going to be Hawk Girl, and that's going to be played by Isa Gonzalez and Shazam 2. And Shazam was a pretty popular movie. It wasn't like, Avengers or anything, but people really dug on that movie. So maybe a catalyst there.
Yeah, I could see that. But that's a long-term play, and that's off of the hope of basically one show or one movie. Like that has to be a really, really good thing. Like, but Spider-Man, it's like, for certain Marvel's going to be pushing that forever, and same thing with like Wonder Woman, the other ones, like DC are going to be pushing those more than their, other females like counterparts. Let's see, what's up? Vivian 3. Is it counterintuitive that, let's see. So I was meaning something. Is it counterintuitive that we have reports of so much new money and users and a gem squeeze? It is a bit weird, but people could just be saving or stockpiling or whatever it is. Yeah, not too certain about that. I do think there is movement, but not as much movement as you would think, right? What do you think about that? Like, there's a lot of money pouring into the app, but
some of the top tier things on the platform cost a lot of money now. So even if 1 million gems cumulatively are coming onto the app, if you spread that out, think of how many new users were reported a week in the last AMA by Dan Crothers. I think it was 100 to 200K per week. And so if you spread 1 million gems out amongst all of the new users per account, that may not even be enough to buy like a Walt, you know what I mean? Or a major grail item. And I think a lot of people that are coming to the app now are coming to the app because all of Vive's marketing is still kind of word of mouth and creator. They're not doing any sort of mainstream marketing. You don't see commercials for, Veve out there. It's still self-contained. So I think people that are coming to the space are coming to the space for certain hype events, or because a creator they're following, aka like Andre Jick, being like, here, I've sold 2 Bitcoins and I've converted it into OMI. Why? This app called Veve. And that's bringing a lot of people in. But still, again, 1 million gems a day spread out amongst all the users coming to the platform, that's not a lot per user. That's just my speculation, of course.
Yeah. I agree, like in the grand scheme of things. And like even now when I'm looking at the top, when I typically look at the top comic gainers, it's usually secret rare and ultra rares a lot of the time. Like people are buying more of the high end stuff, which means there's maybe less movement that you notice, right? And even then, like even if 1 million gems went into the app, like I know this is a super stretch, but like that's like what 4 or 5 secret rare Spider-Mans or something like that. If they're all at 100, okay, they're not at 100 anymore, but yeah. But if you spread that across all the NFTs that are on the platform and people trading hands and all that stuff, like it's not that much. But there could be people just kind of holding on to gems, waiting for a potential Pokemon or whatever big announcement's going to come before the end of the month. And I think people are anticipating the gem squeeze of MTL and, also the announcement today. So if you're like, I'm going to stock up gems now because at some point before the end of the month, everyone's going to sell everything for super cheap. And I want to be ready.
Agree.
So that could be a thing too.
Agree.
Let's see. So yeah, everyone's talking about Darkwing Duck. Pixel Trader. VVN3 price predictions for C3PO and R2D2 in 6 months and 1 year.
$1 billion. Everything Star Wars to the moon.
Yeah.
What are they at right now? I honestly haven't. Like I said, I have the set. I don't even look at them. I don't even think about them. All my golden moments stuff aren't even tradable quantities to me. They are just things that live on the app. So I don't really know what they're sitting at right now. And I think the value of those are going to be 100% contingent on May the 4th, more Star Wars coming on. The second we start getting more Star Wars on, those are the pillars. Those are the 2 pillars that everything's going to be built on. Mm-hmm. So if we don't get Star Wars in the near future, I'd like to think in a year and a half we're going to get some more Star Wars. If not, I came to the platform mostly for Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. $1 billion. Mm-hmm. That's my guess.
Yeah. Let's see.
What do you think? Fair?
$1 billion. Why not? Why not add an extra 0 to that too? I could just go all in. Let's see what else. Marvel looks like they use base models and then dress them up a little. DC lets their artists show their skills with models.
100%.
Yeah.
Whoever said that, I'm with you 1,000%.
Elena Robo, I agree. Tomo BB, I got Harley Quinn at 330. Do you think she can go up to 500 plus in the next few days? Unlikely, especially in the middle of or hopefully, like I said before, hopefully towards the tail end of a gem squeeze. She can get back there, but in a few days, I don't see it happening. Maybe before the end of the month, but end of the middle of next week, it's unlikely. But again, just my speculation on it. Hamoon, sell all my stamps for 1.5K and buy Pluto or DC statue plus SR comic or maybe Wally. Interesting.
So I kind of wish I knew when you say all my stamps, I'm not sure. For me, I would at least keep the very first set, the Day of the Dead set of stamps, just as a speculative hold. Because again, I believe in pillars. I believe in the first ofs and everything building on top of that and the historical significance of that, increasing the value. So for me, the Day of the Dead series is kind of like a long-term hold, because if stamps do gain a lot of notoriety on the app, and you would hope so, the only NFT stamps coming from the United States, I feel like that first series is going to hold more value than the others. But that's, of course, wild speculation.
Let's see what else we got here. But I mean, yeah, if you hold that and let's say you still have 900 gems left over, I kind of like Donald Duck a bit more in that price range than Pluto. Like if you didn't have the exact amount to buy Pluto, I think Donald Duck is very strong too. People are really going on these battle statues. A lot of people have been talking about them recently. I do like Wally. Again, I don't think Battle Statue is a bad pick. It's just hard because we haven't seen any growth yet. It's more speculative than anything. It's probably the most speculative one of all the Batmans, which is why I'm a bit hesitant on it, because it hasn't had time or room to show its growth. And
that's it.
It could
history.
Yeah, no history, so it could flop or it could do really, really well. Me personally, I'd rather stick with something that's a bit more of a guarantee, I guess. Chris says use a flat. Yeah. As guaranteed as you can get it, so use flat background. Yeah, I think I did that. I think ever since I removed like my little border thing, that kind of helped with the stream.
Yeah, dump mine off too if that's causing an issue.
No, yeah, yours is fine. Mine's like, I think mine is like pulled off some media source and it's like kind of like playing a video like on a loop in the background. So
okay.
that could be it. If you guys notice that if the video quality seems much more, if it seems like significantly better, like let me know, and then I can change it next time. I'll just do a static version instead of a rotating one. Would a mint number of 11,000 out of 16,000 sell above 4? What do you think? I think it's a floor price thing.
You think?
Like a super even number, like if it's if it's like exactly 11. Sure, yeah, why not? I mean, you might as well.
I wouldn't list crazy over, but I would definitely list over floor. People love those round numbers. I see it on Twitter like nonstop. Like, look at this, I got 10,000,000. It's like, that's cool, man. Like, people love it, and I'm not going to discount their enjoyment.
All right, you sold me on it. I guess in my mind, when I think floor price, I'm thinking like, I'm not saying floor it, but around floor price potentially. But
there we go. We'll find a middle ground, like maybe bottom of floor, like at the first page. Look at the bottom and be like, I'm gonna overcut all these guys.
Yep.
Falcon, I love those round numbers.
Yeah, Falcon was one of the comics I was talking about, not Miles. Oh, I thought you said Miles. My Miles comment was towards the previous conversation. My bad, Chris. Brandon.
Comics.
Yeah. Braden Pitts holding onto Daisy, Minnie, and Donald. Good hold for now. Yeah, fantastic holds. Those are probably my 3 favorite ones. I would say Mickey instead of Daisy, but like any of those are great. Pluto and Goofy, I think they're going to need more time to mature to like really stretch out their doggy limbs to get some more profit.
No doubt, love.
No.
Biscuits would be appalled.
Biscuit superhero. Crypto superhero. You said biscuit, and I thought biscuit. Crypto superhero. There is a reason behind every drop. I would say so, to a certain extent. With especially Disney and Marvel, like there's definitely a reason why they do the things they do. What did you guys think about today's drop? Kind of went as expected. Not much, like no FAs, nothing to get super excited about.
If we would have had Poison Ivy in it, I would have been like, yes.
Yeah, yes.
But no Poison Ivy, so
yeah,
that's Supergirl. I love it.
Henry Flores, there's a Spider-Man movie coming in 2023 with Kraven as the bad guy. I'm thinking that story arc might be worth saving. Might be worth something one day. I think so too. And now is the time to do it.
There's the Kraven standalone movie, and I think that's Sony, so that's not going to be part of the MCU canon. Don't quote me on it. Double check that. But inside of the MCU canon and Spider-Man No Way Home, if you look in the cracks of like the universe as the universe is ripping apart, there's some characters standing there in silhouette, and some like wild, super nerd, super geek people like blew those up, and Kraven was standing in one of those like tears in the universe. So that kind of alludes to the fact that we could see like a MCU canon Kraven in addition to the standalone movie. So yeah, I like Kraven.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And he's awesome. I mean, he eats like bugs and gains their powers. And, I mean, the dude's cool.
Wow, I didn't know that. Clearly, I have not read the whole comic series. I guess I'm getting up on the concept of comics. I just have never won any, and I should invest, and I will at some point. I just need to pick Aaron's brain a bit more next time he's on. Hollow.
Yeah, I was listening. He knows his stuff. Love it.
Yeah, he definitely knows his stuff. Because I wasn't sure. I'm like, I knew he owned a store, and like, I'm not sure how involved he was with the comics, but he knows his stuff. Hollow. Also, did you guys hear Supergirl will be taking over Superman in the new movies? Cool. As long, like for me, I've said this before. It could be a little contentious. It's like I really think that like a lot of the comic book industry, Hollywood, like they've been like creatively bankrupt for like a long time. Like they've done like just a lot of like rehashing, and they typically just gender bend things or change the race. It's like come up with a new and unique superhero. That's all I care about. Like I don't care what they look like, as long as they're relatable, interesting, or compelling in some way. A lot of them are just very boring, in my opinion, especially when you have rehashes of like Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park and this and that. It's like come up with like a new franchise, come up with a new superhero, come up with something interesting. Which is why I think right now like anime is like outperforming a lot of shows. Manga is definitely outperforming a lot of comics right now because like it just seems like the US entertainment industry, at least in certain circles, is just like rehashing old stuff that like people liked back in the 90s and 80s. And probably the thing that makes me most upset is like they don't just like rehash it, they also like really they have to like downplay, they have to like throw the previous character or the previous version of whatever that is sometimes like in the dirt and do that kind of stuff. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but that was a huge tangent, so I apologize, but I'm not sure if you kind of agree with any of it. Like I don't care, like Supergirl, as long as it's good and it's interesting and she's a compelling character with like battling with flaws and difficulties and all that stuff, like that's great. But if she, you know, if some characters are just perfect in every way and it's like just super like cheesy and campy or whatever, it's like I'm like whatever, that's just me personally. But
I think he's talking about there's an Action Comics #1 annual maybe, and that one Supergirl is kind of taking over the role of Superman,
kind of like Nightwing.
I haven't looked to see if there's a television representation of that, but I know of that comic. So yeah, I definitely think there's legs for all the characters in the canon of all of these different universes, whether DC, Marvel, Star Wars, all of them have legs. I mean, Luke Skywalker is just in freaking Book of Boba Fett. You know what I mean? As a CG recreation of his younger self. Wow. They'll never be done with these characters.
Yeah. I probably jumped the gun there a bit, but now you know how I feel about Hollywood in general and just how they're... It's like, come up with something new and interesting. Like, that's why I've actually started watching anime and all that stuff. And I might start getting into manga at some point just because, like, you know... like the way they did Miles Morales and some other like the newer-ish characters, like they did those right, in my opinion.
I agree.
Let's see. Are Ape XLs ever going to move up in price? They're getting squeezed right now. That is one of the few things out of like Decon I would get behind, just because again, Ape Strong, the whole meme thing. You talked about that earlier, Corey, about kind of like just the fact that there's a community around it. There is a meme that's been around for like, I don't know how long the Ape meme's been around, like 3-4 years. Maybe a little bit less. I don't know. It kind of started forming around like GameStop, AMC, and all that stuff. So at least there's something there. And you said like even now, like just because the oh god, what was you just said it earlier, the monkey comic.
Hit Monkey,
yeah.
Hit Monkey #1, yeah.
Yeah, you said like there's even just communities or circles in there that were, people are just pumping it just because it's a monkey thing, you know. So I do think
if you look at the chart, you can see where where their group fell apart, because they had like a Facebook group, they had they had a whole group of people that were organized, and there must have been like some sort of internal discord, because at a certain point they started selling.
Yeah, I agree. So would I invest in that right now over like Steamboat Willie? Because I do think those were like roughly the same price. Like they were both like $750, at least like the silver version, in my mind. Maybe.
I don't know if Chris is still here, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the ones that's tagged for like early interoperability too, like moving to OpenSea.
Yeah.
And I think that would perform really well on OpenSea, honestly.
Definitely. DeLorean is going to blow up. Potentially. Its biggest catalyst is just Veveverse, just capabilities and being able to drive and all that stuff. That's its biggest catalyst in my opinion. Or if there's another car released from like another popular franchise or something like that, they could see a small pump. But
I think cars, the December AMA, David Yu, man, I'm having a brain fart. David Yu spent like a big period of the December AMA talking about, remember we had that Citroen release kind of teaser, we're going to start rolling out these concept cars on the app, and he did like a 15-minute kind of tangent on car collectors are a huge demographic of collectors with big money behind it, and we're going to start seeing a whole bunch of cars on the app. It's going to be a big thing. Cars are going to be its own category. And if that happens, I think like novelty cars like the DeLorean, outside of just the interoperability, which is a big bonus, like, or I guess utility, having those cars are going to be a pretty solid thing to have.
Let's see. Ravik. That's a long name. I can't pronounce that one. Why is Ultra Rare Fantastic 4 number 13 more expensive than the SR? Really?
That is the very first Veve exclusive art cover on the platform. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
And it was also like a con exclusive cover. So it's like a double first of. And so the value of that has flipped the secret rare because of that. And I remember whenever I didn't know it was still sitting there. I remember when it happened, like all the comic gurus were on Twitter. They're like, it's happened. You know, a Veve exclusive cover art has flipped the secret rare. It's a historic moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the reason for that one.
Interesting. I knew there was one that was a Veve first, exclusive art.
Is that the Watcher? I feel like I might be talking on my butt, so now I need to double check this.
Yeah, let me say. Yeah, the enigmatic Watcher makes his debut in this very issue. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what the ultra rare looks like, and this is the secret rare. So the secret rare is obviously the more classic version. Has a bunch of looks like Wookiees inside of bubbles. Unfortunate for them.
And everyone was really, I think there's a big group of collectors on the platform that focus on comics specifically that have been like, why aren't these Veve exclusive covers doing better? Because they're coming from exclusive famous artists, and these secret rares are literally just copy and paste panel. Not all of them, there are some unique secret rares on the platform, but most of them are just copy and paste interior panels to the front. And I don't think a lot of people believe at this point that that's going to hold a lot of value to the overall comic collecting community. I think secret rares are going to have a huge amount of utility for the MCP. I think that's where the value of secret rares is going to be, is people scooping those up for the 6 points a day MCP bonus.
Let's see what else. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, $1 million isn't all that much money in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, like just gems getting injected in the market. I'd say lucky NR17. What's going on with the market? Why is it dipping so badly? Well, that's what we're partly trying to figure out. I really liked Corey's theory to it.
Gem squeeze. That's
the dirty gem squeeze, where it's like basically
dirty gems.
You had the number 2 person in line at Veve basically said, yeah, you can buy and sell gems off platform and we won't ban you. But if something happens, like if you get scammed, you're on your own. Tough luck. And so maybe a lot of people that were hesitant about buying or selling gems off app were like, hey, now we got basically a free pass to do it. Because I know
yell era.
Yeah, like I know people like in the Discord or people I've talked to that are like, can I buy gems, or is this against rules or whatever it is? But it's your cash at the end of the day if you want to risk it. So I think that could be causing some of the squeeze, is people that were on the fence about selling. It's like a little mini gem squeeze before the MTL squeeze. So we'll see. Corey, what golden moments do you have? Kenobi series releasing in May.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that Kenobi series. For me, for gold moments, I just have the Disney set. I've got Partners and I've got Elsa. Those are the only ones that I was able to secure with I try not to put a whole bunch of money into the app. I kind of just try to shrewdly build liquidity within the app. So I kind of regret that in a way, because I came in around the Disney golden moments. But I mean, I got Partners at like 2.6, which was a lot of money, coming from my bank account into the app. And then I got R2D2 off the drop, so I lucked out on that one. And then I can't remember what I spent on C3PO, but whatever the after drop FOMO market price was, that's what I got it for. And I got Elsa on a mad dip. There was a gem squeeze maybe around the 12 days of Veve, and I got Elsa like stupid cheap. I don't even know what it was, but I remember I saw it and I was like, that's too cheap. I've got to buy it. And so that's it for me. I'd love to have more, but not until I can build more liquidity, and I need
Yeah.
the market to recover for that.
Let's see. Nathan Scully, thanks for addressing my question on the new users, money, and relative slump. My theory is that some new users would sit on the fence, but others would FOMO in. This doesn't seem logical. Yeah, maybe. Road to Victory, thoughts on me, Supergirl? On my Supergirl?
She's so beautiful.
She's
love
great. Yep. If you like the aesthetic, you want to buy it, go for it. If you're looking for some short-term, medium-term profits, I would look somewhere else. Hamu and
Designer, Frank Cho,
Yeah.
sculptor, Jonathan Matthews, both famous guys. So if those fans make it to the platform, it can pump that value even more. Who knows?
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. That's kind of nice because even if you do like something for strictly its aesthetic value, you just want to hold on to it. It's not going to just like keep going down in value forever. Like that thing will, accumulate gems and be profitable eventually. It's just not now because we're, in a gem squeeze right now. But give it 6 months, a year, or however long you want to hold on to it, it's going to go up in value, or at least it should.
I agree.
Hamu and Yes agreed about the first set of stamps. Thanks for the advice. I got Donald Duck. We'll keep the sets. Nice to hear. Donald Duck is a solid move. Veve and 3 gave Corey gave a lot of really good reasons why Donald is the standout, or really the overlooked one a couple days ago. Christian,
it's funny though, from that set, like people dump on how Goofy looks. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
But it's funny how people like dump on Goofy's aesthetic, but those are the same people who are like, Steamboat Willie is the first ever rendition of Mickey, and it's like that Goofy looking version of Goofy is pretty much an exact replica of the concept sketches by Walt Disney.
Yep, I was gonna say too.
So it's just like there's some weird, people assign really random logic to a lot of these metrics, so you kind of just have to go with what you feel is best.
Yeah, I think they just try to they come to a conclusion, then they just come to a lot of people think of the conclusion, then they just make up something in between to have it make sense, which
consensus
I'll be honest, I've done that before too as well. Let's see. Christian Mart, do you think holding now, no matter what, will increase ROI over time? It depends on what it is. There are some things I would suggest, depending on what it is and what you're going after, it could be better to sell now, potentially, and grab it, because if that other thing is also cheap that you're trying to get, it could be a good move. At the end of the day, I think hodling anything long term is like, it's going to yield you returns. It's going to be profitable.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Gale, I don't know if you ever watch his channel. He's definitely like an OG content creator, pretty well-known guy. But sometimes he tweets, if you just sit on what you have and don't try to trade and make plays, 2 years from now, you might actually be in a better off position than you would have been if you wouldn't have made all those flips. And I'm not saying that's 100% true, but that's a really good way of thinking of it. And honestly, with more people coming to the platform, with MCP in the works, and I'm telling you, MCP is going to just destroy market availability. I just think scarcity across the board for literally everything is going to increase ROI. That's just me.
Yeah. I'm waiting for like the final version of MCP coming out, but there's a lot of people in both camps. People that are waiting like me to make a move, which it might be a little bit too late, and then other people that are already making moves towards MCP and like, just stack, even though you might not get as many points as if you stack more than one rare, but you could still just get the rares and just sell them to people that are going to try and buy it after the MCP comes out and get a nice bit of profit. Because as of right now, the rare comics are the best things to get, like per gem.
Well, there's a like an undercurrent of gamification that's happening on the app with MCP that I don't think a lot of people think about, and that's the ranking system. And just by having a ranking system, it's building a competitive rank. There's going to be a #1 person in the whole world on Veve, and there's going to be people that are going to want to be the #1 person in the whole world on Veve, or the #2, the #3, and what have you, the top 50, the top 100. And I think metrics aside, points aside, there's people right now with thousands of things in their vaults, and they're going to be in the tops, and they're going to be competing with other people in the tops. And those people alone are going to buy a lot of these market floors just to reduce the available points to other people competing with them. Even if they just choose to burn that stuff for points, which also increases your rank. Like if you had a Walt Disney statue and you burned it, that would increase your rank significantly. So let's say you just came to Veve now, you're a whale, but there's people that have been on the app for you know, ever since the app started. How do you beat them? You beat them by buying all the things and burning it for points to artificially inflate your rank. So I'm telling you, I think that burn mechanic with the rank system it's going to create this like really crazy, almost gamification.
Yeah, but wouldn't burning your NFTs, wouldn't that just be like a short-term thing? And if they own those same NFTs, wouldn't you like inadvertently like increase the value of their NFTs by burning them?
I'm saying some people aren't going to care about their portfolio values as much as they care about their overall VV rank, as stupid as that sounds. But I've played video games where people have spent stupid amounts of money on cosmetics and other things to increase
even like mobile
rank
games
on a server or a world, and they get nothing for that. There's no tangible value to it. It's just so they can say, I'm the #1 player in this world in this game.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have that, but with NFTs. So it's gonna be a weird thing to witness. I
could totally see a leaderboard of like the top arsonists of NFTs, people that just burn. Like who's gonna be the top person that burns the most NFTs, and that, you know, they are the arsonist that just burns everything, and they're like, don't let me get a hold of your NFT, I'm gonna burn it. And they're kind of joking around, but it's like true, like on the secondary market, like
because with the burns, like you are gonna get tickets, which you do have to consume, but as far as I understand, those also count towards points, which counts towards rank, which is pushing you up the boards.
Yep.
So crazy stuff.
Yep. And I think it would be funny if I did sell an NFT and that person bought it. That usually burns them. I'm going to take a screenshot of the sale and be like, well, it's nice knowing you, NFT. You're going to be burned, never to be seen again. So I think that's pretty fun.
I wonder if they're going to have like an animation on the app for burning, or if it's just going to be like click to burn or something stupid.
I would hope they would at least have some sort of animation, like even if they just simply had an overlay of fire that just burned it or something like that. Yeah, something simple like that. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Christian. But over time, as long as you hold, you'll be fine. 11000 is technically binary code or whatever. Some people love that shit. True. Just like if you have a lot of 101s, yeah, that could be a thing.
On my channel, I flash like binary code and stuff on my screen for like millisecond. I do Easter egg giveaways on my channel. They're hidden Easter eggs. I don't announce them at all because I like Ready Player One, and that's one thing I do. And pretty much the people that always win those giveaways are, whenever I email them to give them their comic or whatever it is that they won, they'll be like, yeah, I'm a software engineer, and I saw that like, you know, binary code pop up for a millisecond, and I immediately solved it. So yeah, there's people that totally are into that.
Man, I'm gonna need to watch your videos and try and score a free comic one of these days. Let's see. What do we got here? I'm gonna double time it through chat. Actually, we got Omi the Clown. I know he messaged earlier, but Omi the Clown, I wonder if someone is making vault value app comics all go to zero had anything to do with it. I'm not sure what he was referencing.
Let me look.
I wonder if someone
making vault value app comics all go to zero had anything to do with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, but dude, it's awesome having the godfather of ecomi wiki here.
Yeah. Thank you for making freaking ecomi wiki. What a tool, man. You're awesome.
Just out of curiosity, did you do any kind of like cool update on the app or anything? Like maybe give us a little sneak peek as to what you updated, or is it just maintenance, just getting out the air duster and kind of cleaning it out? I'm sure he'll get back to us eventually on that, but
we'll watch the comments.
Superman 88866, any good? Any extra gem value? That's pretty close to the cap, isn't it? Which is 8888, like 4 8s. I think that's the highest mint number of Superman. So maybe
do a sort, like do a mint sort edition high to low and see what other people are listing. Off the top of my head, I have no idea. I know some people do love those super high edition mints. There's a mint for everyone on this app, it seems.
Yeah. We the people, if Wolverine drops, I'll sell everything for it. I'm probably in that camp too. I wouldn't sell everything, but I would sell a sizable amount of my vault towards that. Emmanuel Pontes, why is Mickey card almost more expensive than Steamboat? Feel like the FE is taking some love. I don't think it's so much like the FE tag, it's just the lenticular card. Like, plus there's only one lenticular card of Mickey. Yeah. Plus, I mean, the lenticular card just It just looks cooler. It does more stuff than the Steamboat Common. The Steamboat Common is also like the lowest version of like the set and stuff. So I think all that in conjunction has something to do with it. I don't think it's so much the FE tech, because I mean this is Mickey's like third appearance. So
And you also have people coming in waves to the app. So some people may have just come around lenticular, and they're like, "This is my entry point into the app, and this is super valuable to me because I'm priced out of, these other things," and that could cause price inflations that we can't understand either. There's just too many variables, man.
plus it's the lenticular cards are just the new hotness, right? You can't overlook that. It's just the new thing.
100%.
One of the newer things on the platform, so people are really liking that. I think people are trying to find things to attach to and jump on board.
Star Wars lenticular cards, May 4th. I'm calling it.
You're really liking those lenticular cards now. You seem like I don't like. What's that?
Talking about my wife. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. I don't have the Discord pulled up, so I don't know if you were talking to. But yeah, you seem to be like really on board with those lenticular cards. You think like if these were really successful, like you think Disney will keep pushing these?
Conceptually, they're a hot commodity physically, and I just think I used to, whenever I first saw lenticular cards, I was like, those are the kind of things you get in a Happy Meal. Like those aren't going to have value. But the more they released about it, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be a category like comics. They're going to release a whole series of these, and because of that belief, which is 100% unfounded, like no one's saying that there's going to be a whole bunch of different series of lenticular cards, but if there's Disney Princess lenticular cards, there's Star Wars lenticular cards, there's Marvel lenticular cards, there's going to be value there. That's what I think.
Henry Flores agrees. I second that about Wolverine. I'm chomping at the bit for that Wolverine FA comic as well in the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. I think so too. That's going to be big. Waldy Rentas. Evening, guys. Is there something out there Grail worthy to get if I want to let go of Bart's skateboard? By the way, great job, guys. Thanks for the compliment.
Thank you.
Bart's skateboard. Let's see where that's at. Let's look up golden moments.
So anytime it's an object, we have to have the object caveat conversation.
It's a
Objects
thing
versus characters. It's a whole thing. Randy Chavez started us on that path, but I think there's some value to that idea.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree to that thing. Skateboard's at $1,750, so assuming he sold it for floor price, he would get $1,650 or something. Maybe. Oh no, he'd probably get $1,600 because something like that.
What worthy can you get at that point? Can you flip that for like an Iron Man?
No. You would have to make up like $1,000 worth of gems to to get Iron Man.
I literally have no idea where anything is in the market.
Yeah, it's
you pulling up these charts are my first look at the market, probably in 2 days. Just 'cause I've been swamped. Phoebe's been releasing stuff like crazy, which means I'm just researching and cutting video nonstop.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have probably too much content to cover than not enough, and you have to come up with speculative stuff or so Iron Man's at 2,600 right now. So if you sold skateboard, you'd be a grand short. The only thing I could think of for that much, like again, lenticular cards, like I mean you can get 3 cards for that much, or you can get like a Donald and a Mickey or something like that, which I think potentially in the short term.
Would you call those grail worthy? You know what I mean?
No, not grail worthy.
That's what he says, grail worthy.
It's true.
Makes it tricky.
Grail worthy. It's hard to find something grail worthy under 2K.
Yeah, it really is.
I would say probably like the cheapest quote unquote grail worthy thing is probably either like Iron Man or Elsa. Like at least that I can kind of come up with in my mind. Probably more Elsa than Iron Man, but it's like if you just can't afford Elsa, just get Iron Man. Yeah, not sure. I'm sure there's some sort of comic
Wonder Woman or Grail. It's the word Grail is what throws me because Grail has such a loose interpretation in the community. A lot of people consider a lot of FAs Grails. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to, and I'm sure there's probably a comic that we're both overlooking because we're just not that familiar with comics. So I'm sure there's like an SR comic that is like, yeah, just buy this for $1,000 and like it'll blow up.
I would definitely look at all the SR comics. I mean, I bought like Avengers, I want to say it's 47, the first appearance of Vision for like $400, and it's worth like over $1,000. Like a lot of these SRs you can buy for a very, very low amount, and they all increase over time. And I think that's because people are starting to think about MCP points, and all the SR comics are 6 points a day, which at those prices doesn't exist on the app anywhere else.
Which is quite a bit. Like 6 points is actually a lot. Like depending on like which, if you're going the collectible route, like you're gonna have to complete like a whole set. Like you have to complete the money. Yeah, you have to complete like an entire stamp set in order to, or certain stamp sets. So you'd still be short. You'd only get like 4.5, 5 points. So you certain collectible sets, like an entire season, an entire series of Marmacornos, and I think you would still barely get 6.
And if that secret rare is like a sub 1500 or a lowest 5% mint, it's an additional 50% points. So that one SR comic is 9 points a day, which is bonkers. Like if you look at that VV set list and you sort, like 9 points a day is a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. With the people, same. Give me the comic and collectible. I'll be happy. Yeah. So I agree. I'm sure there's some sort of comic. Like I wish I could help you out more on like the comic side of things. But I'm sure there is a secret rare out there that's considered a grail. That's probably around like the 1500 gem range. If not, skateboard isn't the worst thing to hold on to. I just can't think of anything else, quote unquote, grail worthy to invest in, like at least at that price point. Hollow, your opinion on the movies has me rethinking superheroes in general now. That's what we're here for. It's just to get you thinking. We're not here to tell you what to do, but just to get you thinking and you come to your own conclusion. And, I would hope that you guys would cross-reference this information, or if we do have a good stance, talk to someone else. If we make it, that's why I sometimes tell people like, yeah, you can get a comic, but like you need to go to someone like Crypto and Comics or Comics Explained, or go to, if I give you a Mickey, or sorry, like a Disney, DC, Marvel recommendation, like Randy Chavez, that's like his big thing. Like he knows those 3 IPs like very, very well. So definitely run it by other content creators or someone else you trust, or someone else that you trust that's had a lot of success in the market, like just a cross-reference. Brandon Jacobs, did you know the FA Bart Simpson is actually a New Mutants #1 if you look on one of the pages when reading? Really? Does it mean like, or is that actually a thing?
We don't even have New Mutants #1 on the app, do we? I don't think so. Are you talking about the first appearance of Deadpool? Which is New Mutants 80. I can't remember. Where's I have too many windows open. My life's hard.
I'm not sure either.
I didn't know that though.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember hearing people say that technically the first battle statue was Homer versus Bart. Because he's like, they're choking each other. Battle statue. Yeah, I was like, that's technically the first battle statue. I'm like, in a way, that's kind of true.
FA for Santa is the stamps on the platform. You heard it here.
Yeah. Shankster the Third. I've seen some of the Mickey and Friends NFT off your profile. You parted ways with them? A handful of them. Just because, I hate to say this. It's like, first of all, I feel like I'm being stalked. It's like, I saw these come off your profile. What's going on here? That's kind of a I'm making some riskier plays, and I guess it's kind of a do what I say now as I do kind of thing. I'm not predicting anything big to happen in the near future, but it's like I might be making some plays that even now I'm trying to like figure out in the meantime, because things are still pulling back. I thought about just like rebuying the cards. It's like, hell, I could just rebuy them, make a nice 200-300 gem profit, and basically nothing changed. Or sometimes people are desperate to get rid of their cards, and you can actually get a lower mint than what you got last time. Mainly it was just I saw Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, and Donald all pulling back. Donald was a bit lagged behind, so I actually managed to sell Donald for like 1,200, and then the Pluto I sold for a little bit cheaper. I probably could have held on to Pluto a bit longer, but I do see them pulling back a bit more, and I was potentially going to reinvest in like a golden moment, probably like Iron Man or Elsa.
Nice.
Might get those, because I do think those are the next ones to potentially pump. But then again, I am on my road to try and get a Todd at some point. I'm doing a lot of flipping to get to that point.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I definitely do not want to get rid of my Steamboat Willie Ultra Rare.
No.
I was talking to my friend about it and a few other people, and I'm like, I could get Todd right now if I want it. And they're like, do everything you can not to sell your secret rare or ultra rare Steamboat Willie. Like sell anything else you need to do, flip whatever you need to do, but do not sell ultra rare Steamboat Willie. I'm like, all right, good idea. Thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man #1 comic? I hear it brought up all the time. I hear other comic people bring it up, so I think it's great. And I think now is probably the perfect entry point, just raw numbers wise, just everything is down. If you're planning on long-term hodling, it's probably great. I'll pull it up as you're talking.
Is he talking about the secret rare or just the standard? I wonder. But across the board,
we'll see.
I would be buying those.
Yeah, exactly. Like across the board, it doesn't.
If I could afford it, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But whether it's the common or not, currently hodling the 59,470 edition. Bought it for 187. Okay, I'm assuming that's the common.
Because that one released 60. Amazing Spider-Man's really interesting because that's one of the comics that I see people buy groups of like 250 of. Like,
really?
I see a picture on Twitter and they'll be like, I just bought 250 of them. I wish I could buy 250 of them.
Yeah,
it's going nowhere but up. That's 100% a Grail comic.
Yeah, that's definitely a stack. And like, I mean, he said he bought it at what? Gosh, I overlooked it. 187. That's a great price point. I mean, it has an all-time high of 320. Yeah, the listings are a bit high, but like it's looks like it's starting to go down. But then again, we won't know probably till tomorrow. But like I mean, you just got one of the best comics on the platform for
congratulations.
One of its low points. Like, yeah, that's great. Let's see. Ravik, is stacking the common mighties like Mr. Fantastic a good idea? Gamification coming. Still not 100% certain on gamification, but what's your take on it?
If gamification comes, then yes, but gamification, they backtracked on that. And they backtracked on that in December during the AMA. Frank Kozik and Labbits, right, was tweeting that my Labbits are going to be breedable. And people were like, oh, Crypto Kitties. It's going to be the next Crypto Kitties. And Labbits went on a run. And then that was mentioned in a question during the AMA. And Dan Crothers, co-founder of Veve, was like, we can't really control what the artists are putting out in tweets. There's no confirmation on anything of that. And there's just so many things that have to happen on the platform before we can expect any sort of gamification. But stacking, if the question is, if I stack now and I hold this thing for a year or longer, is all these things, are you going to profit from that? 100%. But if your expectation is to buy those and hold them until, you know, the MCU starts introducing more Fantastic Four, which is going to happen in Phase 5, you might be holding, you know, 6 months, 5 months, 7 months until you start seeing a big ROI on that. But I just can't imagine without some sort of major catalyst happening. And I feel like the movie catalyst is going to happen a lot sooner than a gamification catalyst. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the other thing too. It's like people, like I said, I like the independent artists, but they can say as much as they want. But until Veve officially says like, yes, there will be breeding in the Veveverse, and this is something we're going to do, I'm not banking on it. You know, it's like I think you know, with like the Labbits and stuff, the artist was saying like, yeah, I would love to do this, and you know, you can breed them, and who cares, you know, what sex they are and all that stuff. It's like, oh, okay, this sounds fun, and you can breed them and like make a brand new unique NFT and all that stuff. I'm like, this sounds cool, but like, Veve hasn't said anything. So sometimes people do get in the habit, I think, of picking up something and just running with it without being like, okay, is Veve even saying anything to this or reacting to this? Or, you know, if we can't even, like you said, I like the example you used. It's like, we still can't even read comics in our vaults yet. And like, we're thinking this whole Veveverse thing. Or place them. And like, we're thinking that, you know, we're going to have flying DeLoreans, or that we're going to have some sort of like Super Smash style gamification, you know, by the end of this year. It's just unlikely, at least that I've seen. But again, who knows? Like, they could have some company working on it. They could have outsourced it 3-4 years ago, and they've been working on it behind the scenes. Like, no one knows.
On that note, I've seen tweets from like job postings where Veve's posting feelers for positions for like game designers and stuff like that, and people are trying to equate those job postings to gamifications coming for sure. But again, until we hear anything, that's not a play I'm willing to make at this point.
And it could, and even if they do hire people that do have video game developing experience, it doesn't mean they're gonna be making a game themselves. They could just be hiring people to come in and be like, hey, if we render this character or this thing this way, like, could you see it be easier this way? What are some hiccups we could see in the future if we make our NFT look like this, or if we design it this way, or whatever it is? They could just be getting feedback 100%. And then outsource the game to someone else. Or to another company, and they handle it all. And when they give them the renderings or whatever it is for the NFTs, they're like, oh wow, these are already pretty set up to do well and interact formally into the game. Who knows? Like, again, I'm just saying stuff, but like that could be an alternative too. It doesn't mean Veve themselves, and I just find it very hard that Veve themselves, with them being short-staffed on customer service, is going to be like designing a game.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to,
I hope we're wrong. Like
same.
100%, I'm like, I want gamification, I want utility more than literally anything, but I just have to be realistic with my expectations.
I muted the music when I was trying to cough. Whatever. I thought that was like the microphone. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, it's like, not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be realistic. And like when I see AAA studios with 150 plus developers like making a game and like they're missing deadlines, like, yeah, and every company misses deadlines. It doesn't matter what they are, like across the board. But
yeah.
So is there any way? Sorry. A second. Okay, we already got that. John says, is there any way to avoid fees when buying gems? I use iTunes and also Google Play. I could have sworn one of my friends says he uses like his credit card, like straight up, like off of, he uses an iPhone though. So I'm not sure if like that's actually the case. So I'm not entirely sure. But I get fees too.
I'm just a standard Android pleb, buying them the same way everyone else does at tax.
Yep. So I just eat it. So, next question, Jeff, when will the queue system start? I would love to know so I can start preparing. I think and I've said this for over a month. I've said this since like early December, that the queue system will flip the market on its head. Like it might not be abundantly clear like immediately afterward, but like the first month after queue system, I do think all the blue chips and grails will just run away because everyone's going to, you're taking away a source of passive income for some people where they constantly win these drops. And if they stop winning, what are they going to do? They're like, well, I have to find some other way to passively make money. I'm just going to consolidate. And like me too, like honestly, if I was very consistent winning drops, I'd probably make some riskier plays. I'd try to buy a little bit of this, stack that. But if that's all gone, I'm like, all right, maybe these riskier plays aren't the way to go anymore. And I need to be smart with the gems I have. So I'm going to consolidate all the stuff that's not going to do well, or things that are kind of a bit more speculative, or things that I don't think are going to perform that well. I'm going to invest it all in blue chips, put it all in the higher end stuff, because I know that's going to do the best long term. Knowing now that like I could maybe win once a month instead of twice a week. Like that's a big change. Like some people win twice a week between comics and the drops.
In terms of like tangible data, in December during that AMA, Dan Crothers had given us the rough deadline of late January, early February. But in the AMA that just happened, they literally didn't even give a rough deadline timeline of any kind for anything. So for me, I was like, uh-oh.
Yep.
It might be a while. Because whenever they give us a timeline in December and then, the next AMA comes and we're in the period when this stuff was supposedly going to be, I feel like they're doing a huge amount of damage control on the bots and disabled accounts, which they needed to do 100%. But like you were saying, it's a skeleton crew. I'm almost positive it's a skeleton crew of a company. They don't have a lot of people. So whenever they redirect it, and they were even joking about that in the AMA, the guys are going to kill me because now we've just tasked them with all this extra stuff. It makes it feel like there's a very small crew of people doing this. So I thought that the waiting room system was going to be now. I thought this was the late January, early February rough estimate.
Yeah.
So hard times for all involved.
Yeah, exactly. And I really hope like when they do introduce the queue system, which I'll be honest is the fair system. I do win blind box the majority of the time. Today I didn't win, and that's I wasn't I was a little upset because I did want to win one of those and flip them for like better profit. But I hope Veve still occasionally does either some sort of different format or something like that. I mean, they do kind of have it with the MCP program and just a lottery thing. But again, I kind of wish. Occasionally they would do like a blind box for maybe some like smaller end like NFTs. Like they know which NFTs are going to do well. So if it's kind of like a repeat, if it's Harley Quinn number, for the 37th time, it's like, all right, let's do a blind box format. Like it's not going to sell for a ton. It's cool. And like, let's go ahead and do it. But like, all right, if we're getting FA Evader or this or that, it's like, okay, we'll do the Q format because that's the most fair as much as possible.
And the MCP and the queue system must be linked, right? Because you're using MCP points for lottery tickets for the queue system. So those things, in my opinion, have to release at the same exact time. And maybe that's part of the holdup.
Yeah.
Like maybe they have to get both of those things ironed out perfectly before they can release them in tandem. I don't know.
Yeah. AKA Bash says, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what if I just make profit and wait for everything to crash? Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are doing now. They've been selling off. Some people might be sitting on hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of gems and just being like, yeah, let's wait for the bottom to happen. Like we're going to, they might have price points for certain FTs that they're going to buy up. But then again, I think some of them might have been hoping like we were going to get like an actual timeline with MTL. All we heard was like, oh, MTL is going to happen before Omi to NFT. And that's really it.
It's in beta testing, and it was in beta testing in December. And it'll be rolled out to a larger group, which is, again, a repeat information release from December. So in terms of actual progress from December to January, tangibly none, I would say, on the MTL front.
Yeah. What percentage would you give that we get Pokemon announcement or drop on February 27th, National Pokemon Day? What would you say?
For me, if in the next week or two they announce all these other things, MCP, waiting room, MTL, then yes. If they don't, then no. Yeah, that's my take.
I think because it's 227, my chances are 2.27% chance that'll happen. So less than 3%, I would say. Dax G, after Tom's drop, I'm buying a rare comic and stack uncommons for MCP. Yeah, that's a good call. I'm kind of curious. I wonder if they will retroactively give people. I know they will retroactively give people points, but like, what if each iteration of the MCP that they introduce, like they still give people points for that? If that makes sense.
Like every time they've changed what the MCP points awarded, if they're retroactively changing all of the past points, or if they're letting it stay within that format. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So like, let's say like next iteration they make rares 1 point. Like you would still get 2 points based on basically the day before that announcement and all the 2 points a day from the previous release. I'm sure that's probably a lot of legwork for them to like do that on the back end. But it would suck that like, well, I bought all these rares and like your next iteration only gave me 1 point. So it's like, no, I basically just lost a point a day per comic.
Don't be surprised if that happened because literally, what do they say every time they talk about MCP? They say, don't build your life and plans around the MCP because it's a living document and it could change. Yep. So it's like
they changed the set bonuses and stuff.
Straight up warning us that could happen.
Yep, they took away the set bonus from comics. So there's probably people initially buying whole sets of comics thinking that they were going to get bonus points. Sure. They're just like, maybe not. Like you probably still got more points by having the set than if you obviously didn't, because secret rares now are worth 6 points. So you still kind of got rewarded, but now it's like gem for gem optimization. It's better to get a rare and then stack uncommons for the most part. Let's see. Garrett, the vault value app isn't showing on Comic Floor, so I guess that's on Ecomi Wiki. Like it's not showing the prices of the comics, which is fine for like the vault evaluation. Tree Town Sound. What percentage? Oh, okay, I already read that question. Execu Speak, thanks for stopping by. Aiden Jackson, Heyman, could you probably answer that already, but what are your thoughts on the new Wonder Woman? I think it's okay. I doubt it's ever going to flip the FA. I'm sure there's going to be people out there that prefer aesthetic over tags, and I think that's going to be a big factor, right? I think people that will secure the FA version of it will then buy the aesthetic version of it because they might like that one more.
The question really is, if we could list everything on OpenSea right now, like you could just right now put everything on OpenSea, and you put those two Wonder Woman next to each other, which one would sell for more if the person didn't have a clue about Veve? That's the argument. You know, okay. I'm not saying that the new Wonder Woman's worth more than the FA, and I'm not saying the FA tag is irrelevant, but I am saying to someone who doesn't give a crap about the FA tag and someone with a lot of money, it just may not matter. Aesthetics might matter more. Yeah. Who knows? The money is going to tell us.
Yeah, I would say part of me wants to say the new Wonder Woman, but it, like the OpenSea, just in general, like everyone's avatars are just like cartoony 2D things. Like the new like the Artist Alley Wonder Woman does follow that aesthetic a bit more. So I mean, who knows? Like I can't guess people's preferences. on stuff, but at least just label wise, yeah, we'll have to wait. I mean, the gem squeeze is really shaking things up, so there is that as well. We'll have to see what happens after all that. Execu speak. Grail to me means number one, iconic / FA. Number two, has extreme market resilience during a dip / squeeze. I agree.
I think he was the one that was asking if he was going to liquidate a Bart board for 1.6 to get a Grail. I think he was just clarifying what his definition of Grail was because we weren't quite sure. So what iconic FA would you try to snag a 1.6 if you were going to flip a Bart board?
I think that was a different person. Execu speak like just jumped in chat.
Person?
Yeah,
Am I losing my mind? Okay,
yeah.
Never mind. I'm losing it.
Yeah, but like, but if it was a significant FA, damn, if only Iron Man was in that range.
It used to be the target, right? You were like, oh, I can flip for an Iron Man. I go ahead and get one of those.
Yeah, strangely enough, like maybe Doctor Doom. Weirdly enough, kind of weird play, but maybe
there's one for 1.7 low mint sitting on the floor. We know that from chat.
Yeah, true. We the people thoughts on oversaturation of drops playing a factor on the market dip. We're getting a lot of people still jumping on the app, and a lot of money still coming in. So I'm not sure if that's it.
I have to wonder if is it oversaturation or is it the market just trying to figure out how to correct with all the influx? Like you said, there's so many, all those gems coming in, all the new players coming in. I don't know. That's an argument I see a lot though.
Yeah, that was a question I was going to kind of loosely ask Aaron yesterday over at My Collectibles. You know, I was just letting him go because he has a ton of great information, but I know this would have put him on like a 30-minute tangent about will there be a point where there's just too many comics? There's just oversaturation of comics. I mean, we're basically getting anywhere between 60 to 120,000 comics ejected into the Veve app every week, right? Because it could be a double 30 mint or it could be a double 60 mint or 1,000 mint run, and like, or if they do a series like they did with Craven. Was it Craven? Craven. I don't know how many. I forgot how many total mints like across the whole series there was.
So if there were 6, it'd be 6 times 30. Maths aren't my thing.
Yeah, so 180,000 mints was put into the app. So like, yeah, that's a lot. I mean, but there are people that do double up. There are some people that don't care about comics and this and that. So I'm kind of curious, like if there is a point where also, I mean, I think the better term is a comic bloat. Like there's just so many comics and also a bunch of like whatever comics too.
Eventually we'll be out of FAs and all that. So then the importance of those exclusive covers are going to come into play because most comics have exclusive covers from exclusive cover artists. And even if those comics have very little fair market value as just the normal comic, those exclusive variant covers physically have a lot of value because of the artist attached to it. So I feel like once we do kind of tick all of those FA boxes, then it's going to come down to those exclusive covers, or they're going to try to be like, we're only releasing 500, like they did with the Amazing Spider-Man 252, which physically isn't that valuable of a comic, but that made it that comic on the app exceptionally valuable because there's only 1,000 of them.
Yep. Wonder Woman. Let me see. Yes, the one with Deadpool. Okay. John is Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is also another great superhero we can have on the app as well. But Ghost Spider, is Ghost Spider a buy yet? I would say. Let me see. I would say yes. I mean, it's hard to tell what the bottom of stuff is, right? I've said it before. Like, you're never going to guess the very bottom or the very top of something. You just gotta, if you want it, you secure. If you're happy with the price point, you secure it and you live with it, right? Because
such a small amount of history on the app.
Yeah, that too. So she's at 116. Yeah, let me check out some of the numbers here because I'm kind of curious to see like how many people bought below like 100 and how long that lasted for, because that might also influence, because that's going to determine
in terms of like franchise value. She's super valuable. She marries Miles Morales. They they got celebrity kids, like, and we're still in the infancy of the Miles Morales run in terms of movies. And Miles Morales is obviously super popular as like a franchise. So you would think by proxy, kind of like we're saying with Storm and Black Panther, because they get married and they're together in the comics, you would think the Miles Morales hype would, rub off onto our Ghost Spider.
Yep. So we have roughly 2 days straight of when it was selling below 100. And it looks like the volume, at least according to this, it's kind of hard to tell. It just says market cap, but like it's really hard to tell like how much actual volume is moving. But if we have 2 days of basically people buying below 100, and now we're approaching our 4th day of people buying above 100, I mean, this start could be looking like the bottom of it. And even if it goes down to 110 or even 100, I think it'll rebound pretty well, especially once the market figures itself out. Ghost Spider is pretty popular. It's going to be in the next movie, right? Or like the Gwen Stacy?
And all the Miles Morales, essentially every Miles Morales movie should have her in it. That would be my assumption.
Gotcha.
Unless, they can veer off of canon, obviously, in the movies.
But yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. Like, I don't think there's not so few mints of Gwen. I keep saying Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider, whatever. It doesn't matter. Same person. That I doubt like you'll wake up the next morning and now it's just swung up to like 160. Like, you could probably slow play this one, see if you can get a bit more out of it. But again, yeah, I think now's a pretty decent time to buy to pick her up. Let's see. What's the next one? Buy at Brandon Jacobs. Theory in the future comics. In the future, comics will take over collectibles. Comics are limited to one. They're made in the physical world. Veve doesn't make up comics. Collectibles will have unlimited supply. That is true.
Yeah,
but we could
super long term.
Yeah, but we could have comics that come out from artists that could be Veve exclusive, just like NFT exclusive as well. Like Veve could be another medium for comic book artists or comics to come out for.
But by that same logic, comics are still being made right now.
Yeah.
And so as new comics release, like in real time in the real world, Veve could just, release that same comic as a digital NFT. So in that sense, like, there could be unlimited comics as well, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what he's saying too. I mean, there's only a limited amount of quote unquote grail comics that currently exist. Like the new ones that come out, like they're not highly coveted, like the Dark Hawk and like some of the other ones that are like newer. Like that was another thing I was going to ask Aaron about was Dark Hawk, because I know that's kind of a meme, and like not a meme, but like in the comic community, like people think it's going to like take off and do extremely well. So some people bought a ton of them when they were super cheap, but it could be a thing.
I mean, Dark Hawk is mixing it up with like Miles Morales and current comics. He's part of like the whole Captain Marvel arc. So he's getting like a lot of play in current comics. So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. That's an interesting theory though. Daniel, would you sell the following, Daniel Jovic, would you sell the following Spider-Mans and one rare, one common, one your zombie, one uncommon zombie, and one secret rare Deadpool to get an ultra rare Steamboat Willie? That's a lot to get rid of. So you're basically trying to get rid of what? A rare and a common Spider-Man, ultra rare zombie, one common zombie, and one secret rare Deadpool. I think secret rare Deadpool has a lot of room to move. I think the Spider-Mans too. I will agree. The zombie. Those are the Spider-Mans too. Okay, Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. I would hold those, dude. Like I agree. Like Steamboat Willie is at a low point, but that's a lot of work to get Steamboat Willie, and I do think like. The rare Spider-Man can easily move up to that's his all-time high is like 2.4K. The common went up to like 14. The ultra rare zombie I think went up to 18. The common zombie went up to like 500. Secret rare Deadpool I think went up to like 3,600. Like all-time highs. Just kind of like after just looking at those NFTs like all day, I kind of know what their ultimate highs were. I would hold off it for now, but like who knows? Like maybe Steamboat Willie does lag behind the Spider-Man start pumping, and you can maybe shave off a couple NFTs and still make that trade. But now you save yourself a like a rare Spider-Man or something like that, as well as like a common zombie or something.
The wild card with Steamboat Willie that you don't hear a lot of people talk about is a series 1. Yep. So there'll be another series behind. It won't be Steamboat Willie anymore. It's the Mickey Mouse NFT collection. I'm pretty sure is how that one's tagged. And so the release of the second series could have a pretty major influence on the value of the first of the series, which could make it unobtainable, depending on your finances. That's the only. I'm kind of the guy that's like, I'm gonna wait for the market to recover, liquidate. When it dips again, then I'll reconsolidate and get those bigger things. But that's kind of the risk I play in my head. I'm like, but if they release the next series, is it gonna pump? I don't know. So that's kind of something to think about too.
Yeah, and it's at the end of the day, it's not going to be the first or last time, or sorry, it's not going to be the last time Steamboat Willie dips again, like the ultra rare.
Correct.
Like, everything's going to dip. Like there could be another opportunity to get in again, but that just seems like a lot of work, a lot of selling, and like you're going to keep getting undercut on between those 6 different NFTs. Like it's going to be a lot of work, in my opinion. So let's see here, Christian. When do you think you'll be able to cash out on Veve? I don't know. Soon, hashtag soon for the last 7 months. So
yep, it's in beta testing right now. According to Dan Crothers, that beta testing has had success. He said in that last AMA. What was that? Yesterday, the day before yesterday?
Yeah, something like that.
And so that beta group's growing. The things that we don't know: how big is the beta group? Is the beta group like 5 guys? You know, is the beta group 500 people? We don't know. Whenever they say that they're going to roll it out to a larger group, is that 10 guys instead of 5 guys? Is that 10,000 people instead of 5,000 people? And then how long after this secondary beta testing do we have to wait before there's mass adoption?
Yeah.
So those are all the real wild cards.
Let's see here. ExecuSpeak. Would selling Minnie and Mickey make sense if you're flipping towards a Golden Moment set? I think Golden Moments will be worth more in the long run, but I also know the cards are going to moon eventually. Yeah, they all will. I would say if you're trying to sell now, it depends on which Golden Moment you're going for. If you're trying to go for a Avengers logo, I'd probably say no. If you're trying to go for an Elsa or an Iron Man or one of the Star Wars ones, I don't know. That's a lot of flipping you have to do. If you're saying like, should I get rid of 2 Goofies to get a R2D2 or C3PO? Like I would say, yeah, that's probably a decent move right now. But if you got to flip 20 Mickeys to get one of the higher end ones, like that's a lot of work, and it's it's going to take a while. So it depends on which Golden Moment you're going after and how many things you need to flip. But he did say Mickey and Minnie, so it sounds like he's got a few doubles or triples of some of those. It depends on the Golden Moment. But even then, if you flipped, you would have to flip what, like 4 or 5 Mickeys to get an Iron Man, and probably like 7 to get Elsa. That's a lot of work. So I mean, I would hold them. Like they're still great. I would hodl them personally. Let's see here. Brandon Jacobs, just buy thousands of gems to hold with your credit card, and then get that cash back. That's
not a terrible idea. I use a cashback card myself, so I get like a percentage back on everything that I use on that credit card, which basically kind of reduces that taxable event that's happening every time I use Google Play. So, and then also some things like Google Play also give you rewards for using Google Play, so you can kind of like double your return on that. It is kind of a good way to reduce that event.
Yeah, I think the Google Play gives you actually a decent amount. Probably seems like maybe 5%, probably less than that. And like I know there's a lot of and I know there's a lot of credit cards out there that give you 1 or 2% cash back on like anything, as well. So Kevin Hernandez, should I sell my FA Harley Quinn to buy a secret rare comic for the MCP? I'd say it kind of depends on the secret rare. I don't think you should just buy a random secret rare just because of MCP.
Kind of depends on where you're at right now. If
that's true,
you have a lot of MCP points and you feel like you're going to be competitive in the MCP, and you feel like this secret rare comic, or maybe a couple cheap secret rare comics, or even a few of them, it's going to be the difference between ranking tiers for the MCP, then maybe. But if you think it's going to push you into like the top tiers of the MCP, there's people with thousands of collectibles in their portfolio, like legitimately. And we're just not going to be able to compete. The average person,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know who's watching this stream, but the average person isn't going to be able to compete with people who are pumping untold money into the app. So it kind of just, to me, depends on where you're at with the MCP.
Yeah, and I think even then, I think you're probably still better off getting what, 3 rares for the exact same amount. And like most rares are probably yeah, most are between 60 to 80 gems, so you don't have to throw you know, 5, 6, 700 gems at a secret rare. You could probably get those 6 points spending less than 200, like if you pick the right ones.
And then the nice thing about those rares is a lot of them are VV exclusive covers, which outside of points have a tangible value that we don't quite understand yet because the big comic collecting community just hasn't arrived yet. So
yeah. Cool. Jeff, is Q system... This Q system should end rebounds or curve multiple NFTs acquired on the drops. I don't know. Like, it's going to be a different game. I mean, the bots are always going to change their deal. Like, of course, there's bots on the platform, but then when the Q system comes out, it's just going to be a matter of who has the most phones. Like, to be quite honest, like, there's going to be people that will have multiple phones. Even Veve was kind of on the fence about, you know, hey, is having multiple phones, is that bad? And they were kind of like, yes and no, but it could flag our system if you have too many. Like, I don't think they mentioned anything about IP, did they? Not that I know of. I don't think they mentioned it.
The biggest thing was make sure your birth date's right on the app, because if you do ever get flagged for fraudulent activity, you have to pass KYC, and essentially your state or government issued ID needs to match the name and birth date of what's on the app. And passively in the back, they've done updates in the past, and it changed my birthday. My birthday is on the 31st, and my birth date had been moved to the 30th, and I never did that. And so I saw a tweet, and I went in there and I checked it, and sure enough, it was wrong. So if I would have been flagged as a fraudulent user, I'd be locked out of my account still because I wouldn't have passed KYC. So if you're watching this and you haven't checked, please profile, settings, personal details, and then you can look in there to make sure all your information's right.
Yeah, how do you update that? Because I'm like trying to change my birthday because it is a day off. Is there a way to update it? Or do I have to send like a support team?
You used to be able to just go to profile, then click settings, then click personal details, and then you'd be able to change it. But I actually did see a tweet from someone saying, or no, it was a comment on one of my videos, and they said that I had to put in a trouble ticket, but it took 24 hours and it was fixed. So maybe it is a ticket that you have.
I'll do that because it's not letting me edit. It'll change my... It's not even letting me change... Because before it was like letting me change my gender. I'm like, okay. But like it won't let me change anything else. Like that's the only thing that has like a down arrow for like different options or whatever.
This was like a couple months ago whenever I changed mine, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I'll have to put in a support ticket and figure that out because that is good to know. But yeah, well, Q system and rebounds or curve multiple NFTs. Yeah.
I don't think it'll end rebounds, right?
How would they do it though if people don't fulfill the like?
Yeah, so like if you're in the drop lottery, you get selected, and so you go to pay, you don't pay, that goes back into circulation. So my assumption is we would sit in the waiting room, and then after the pay period ended, a second group would get selected, and then another group would get. We might be sitting in the waiting room for, 26 minutes at that logic.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't that make sense? Like some people aren't going to pay.
Yeah, some people aren't going to pay, or they're going to, not have enough gems loaded on their account. Like that stuff actually happens quite a bit. Obviously less so with gems, but some of the ones that are like 120 gems, 60 gems, like people still play that day. I always have enough gems loaded personally, but some people try to, they go back to their account, and then something weird happens with the app, and like, stuff happens a lot. So I would assume like in the queue system, hopefully it doesn't take any longer than 12 minutes because I don't want to just sit there staring at my phone waiting for not wait for it to come back. But if it's going to take the full 30 minutes, then so be it. So yeah, like rebounds will just be automated basically. Hammond, we need FA and season 1 pump again. Agreed. Executive speak. 100%. Yeah. Wasn't me on the board, but that was the discussion at the time. No worries. Yep. VV Bulls, 200-ish. Yes, I agree. 200. I don't know what that's in reference to. Theo Remy, whenever crypto pumps, NFTs pull back.
That's possibly weird, right? He's absolutely right. I've had like 5 friends text me in the last 2 days being like, how come crypto went down and NFTs went up? Are NFTs kind of like the gold standard? When the markets do bad, gold goes up in value because people are like, gold is real and tangible and this is safe. Are NFTs like the gold of the crypto market? That's a discussion to be had.
Yeah, that is something to think about. Or maybe it's just a delay. Maybe people that were cashing out of crypto, it's down, and then people are like, cool, look at all these people that cashed out of crypto and went into NFTs. I'm just going to buy more when it's low. Like, that could be a thought process too. It's just a slight delay. Let's see. Rab Young, I found a couple comic books in the $12 to $14 range, picked up 2 different ones in hopes of future prices. They will rise. All the comics will rise, especially since, they will get propped up by the MCP program. And that is, the ones that you bought are some of the cheapest comics on the platform. And then once those get too expensive, then the next cheapest, then that one will get bought up. And I think it'll just be an accordion effect. It'll just keep all the, whoever buys, there's always going to be people buying the cheapest comics for either for MCP or just to collect something if it's their first time on the app, whatever it is. But the comics are just going to shuffle around, who's the cheapest, and they'll get bought up. So yeah, I could definitely see those comics going up in price. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, given enough time.
I just wouldn't expect instant crazy returns or anything like that. But gradually, for sure, they're kind of I look at those kind of comics as index fund. Kind of
exactly. Like you'll probably
slowly gonna make your money back on those.
Yeah, you can probably get 1 month it'll go up $3, the next month it'll go down $2, the next month it'll go up $1, and it'll be back and forth. But don't expect it to be 56 gems by by March or anything like that. See, Hamoon, Black Panther for sure coming in February, definitely.
Yeah,
John, I'm
super blue that.
Yeah, I'm dropping $1,000 for Black Panther, FA comic or FA collectible. I agree. I would love to get FAs of. You mentioned a lot of characters they could release for Black History Month.
A whole bunch. Mm-hmm. Blade, Bishop, Black Panther, Luke Cage. There's a
dude. Even Spawn too.
Spawn.
Mm-hmm. Spawn is a
X-Men giant issue for the Storm FA. That's a cool book. Yeah. It's super thick. It's 68 pages or something.
Yeah, and Spawn would be big because that's it's Todd McFarlane. That's his OG superhero that he made, or I guess anti-hero, whatever I don't know if he's a superhero, but he designed Spawn. Yeah, he designed Spawn, so I think Spawn would do very well. So that's another character they could bring in. Brandon Jacobs, I think the lenticulars are some of the coolest NFTs there are. Lenticular images, autograph, gold border, classic Disney music. Makes me so happy listening to the songs like I'm at Disney. Exactly. I think I'm this thing has every single detail you could probably want about them being a collectible. It has their personality on it in literally every way possible. The signature, the music, their picture, as well as the room, because the room is kind of fit to their personal aesthetic and all that stuff. So it's great.
That's why if those expand as a category, that's why I'm saying the ceiling for those as a category is unlimited, because every single Disney princess, for instance, has their own song. Every Star Wars character has a very unique sound effect or music that could be tied to them. Making cards out of all these different Disney IPs would just be awesome. It'd be super awesome.
Yep, imagine if there's a Darth Maul card and you press it and it plays Duel of Fates, that music. That'd be. Or
you turn the card and the sabers come out.
Yep, sabers come out. He does that little. He does that little spin. That actor, I heard that actor was. I heard that was actually the stuntman that played Darth Maul. But then the actor was just not athletic enough to do it. They're like, well, we're gonna put a bunch of face paint on this dude anyway. So he could. The dude had less lines than Boba Fett. In that, I think he had 3 lines.
Have you ever watched? You said you haven't watched any of the Clone Wars, the animated.
No, not the anime. I know he gets cut in half, but that's pretty much it.
Well, no. You should just Google search Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Maul final fight, and try to find one where they narrate the backstory of how that fight's choreographed. It is a short but really amazing in terms of the canon, the story, and the thought that goes into it. You should definitely check that out. It's really, really cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Not now, obviously.
Yeah. I'll do it now. Also, Brandon Jacobs again. Also, I think that once the cash out feature comes out, you'll only be allowed to buy gems with debit, not credit to avoid cashback scams and laundering like casinos. Interesting thought. I think that would. I don't know about that, but possibly.
They keep talking about AML and stuff like that during the AMA talks, and that's like anti-money laundering laws, and a big part of AML regulations for the use of MTL to authorize basically global currency exchange, fiat to gem. They have to comply with all of those AML measures, and that's partially why this is taking so long, because that's a huge amount of like regulation to wade through, because it's country and region specific. So that's massive. So what you're saying, I think, does have some credence, because for them to comply with AML laws to be able to do MTL, much like casinos, they're going to have to comply. That's my guess, but I somewhat agree with what you're saying for sure.
Yep. John, thoughts on common and rare snow globes? Buy, sell, price predictions, 2 weeks. 2-week price prediction on snow globes. Give me a 72-hour price prediction on this. I think snow globe.
They will remove the clothes of Supergirl. You heard it here first. That is my prediction.
It will happen. Snow globe, polar bear. What'd you say? The common and rare. Okay, so look at the polar bear. Yeah, but it's low. I think this is these kind of fall into the same category, like the DC stuff, because it's only 2.5% fee. There's a lot of quick flipping happening here. So in 2 weeks, will it go up? It entirely depends on what the rest of the market does. I will admit, and I've heard this before, and I kind of believe it, and I've experienced it slightly myself. Even though like the rare is, there's less mints and all that stuff, you'll probably have an easier time selling the snow globes or the commons over the rares, in my opinion, even though they're exact same price. In 2 weeks, it really depends on how the market plays out. But like, could it go lower from here? Possibly. Unlikely. I would say unlikely, but again, I don't know what's going to happen 2 weeks from now. We don't even know what drop is going to be happening on Tuesday, or like anytime next week. So,
what's up with that?
I know.
It's today Sunday or it's today Saturday?
It's Saturday. It's Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm sure they'll tell us.
Comic announcement yet? Okay.
I'm sure on Sunday they'll tell us something that's going to drop on Thursday, and then they'll come out with a release the next day. We're dropping this the day after, and it's a huge IP or a huge thing, or we're doing Cable and Bitch Up, or we're also doing Spawn and a bunch of other crazy characters. So, let's see. Rab Young can't even get a drop, to be honest. I'm having to buy from secondary market at what I feel is their price to buy in, knowing I'm overpaying. And overpaying in what sense? Like compared to the box price? Yeah, everything is really expensive compared to the box price. But if you're gonna hodl long enough, it's gonna more than make up for it.
Yeah, I've not been getting any drops either.
Yeah, I didn't get one.
My wife got one a while back, but not hitting any for me.
Yeah, I haven't hit a comic since November, so I'm chilling. Let's see. And I've never gotten a rebound ever, so that's another fun aspect where it's like if I don't get it on drop, it's actually kind of a freeing experience because I probably should play the rebounds. I play like the 4 minute, then I just give up, and I'm just like whatever, on with my day. Like I don't want to have my phone on my face for 26 minutes playing rebounds. Like I'd rather go do something else.
And I have to wonder how many people are just stretched for liquidity right now because there are so many more users. And whenever, a few months back even, you could pretty consistently land drops, and it was like every drop was basically just giving you a cash, and like you were just getting gems
just free money
you then could use. And that was happening. But now with so many more users, drops are so infrequent, a lot of people don't have that free liquidity, so we're not seeing quite a dramatic price movement.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see here. I'll probably hop off here in like 15 minutes, something like that.
Same. Dinner.
I was gonna hop off. Plus chat's slowing down a bit. I'm slowing down a bit, so it'll work out perfectly for everyone. Kryptony says, try turning on and off dark mode on your phone. Someone said it affects being able to reset your birthday.
What?
Interesting.
That'd be crazy.
If your birthday is off by a day, they say not to send a ticket in. They're working on the issue. All right.
I like how he put it in quotes.
They're working on the issue. Yeah. I mean, I'll give them till like the end of the month. And if I still don't have it fixed, I'm like, hey, I kind of would, like to get this fixed at some point. Rab Young,
Flash forward 3 days, you're disabled.
yeah,
Go ahead.
that's all it takes. We saw some, Jesus, I can't even talk right now. I'm over it. John, okay, they're working on the issue. Rab Young, I'm a long-term holder, so comparing to a index fund, I understand. Yep. Comics.
About the comics, yeah.
Yeah, but the cheap comics. AKA Bash, is it dumb to sell Mickey card to buy rare comics?
No.
I would say no.
No, I wouldn't say. It's not dumb at all. I guess if your goal is getting MCP points, then that's a better deal. If your goal is to get VV exclusive covers, which are probably going to appreciate better, that's a good deal. So for me, the pros outweigh the negatives on that. If it was like Donald or, one of those sort of major cards.
Yeah, the one that has like really a lot of upward potential. And if you were stacking Sue Storms, I'd be like, just please don't. That's like, there's very few times where I just say like, just do not, like, just don't do this. Very few times. That is one of the times I will say, do not, like, just don't. Don't sell Mickey and try and stack 40 Sue Storms. AKA Bash, is it okay? You already asked that question, or I should say I already read it. Brandon Jacobs, Clone Wars is the best show of all time. All right.
It's not wrong. It's because there's so many. I'm not going to get into it because I know you want to get up here soon, but there's just so many episodes who allows them to flesh out these characters. You get so much more backstory, so much more information. It's really well done.
I've seen a lot of snippets of the show and this and that, and it seems really intriguing. Like, I like it. Most of the time it's like meme compilations of like Anakin and Obi-Wan like interacting with each other and doing jokes and this and that back and forth, which is nice because you get to see that relationship like cultivate a bit more than like kind of just in between the movies, right? And kind of makes that episode 3, the ending of that, probably hit a little bit harder, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
VV Bulls, that was for FA Batgirl, the 200-ish comment. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I was like 200. I'm like, what? Yes, I agree. Shankster the Third. I think time cash out comes, I'll have my HODL sets complete. I'll only be cashing out what I have in my wallet at the time. Yeah, besides drop money. Yeah, true. Nice. That's a smart way to do it. Hamoon, they said 3 comics next week. 3 comics?
I hope they're awesome. I love making comic videos and I love making product videos, but whenever it's back to back to back to back, and they're like wild, like this drop that's happening tomorrow, that's a lot of work. It's much easier to do the research on the comics. It's a lot more fun too.
Yeah, especially like if you're trying to deal with stuff internationally and then try to present in a way that us people locally, primarily US viewers or English speaking viewers has to try and understand or draw a comparison. Rogero Cortez, Santos / Brazil in the house. Great job, guys. I'm Brazilian. Omi homie. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. We're going to be jumping off here in like the near future, but thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Hamoon, my man. Alex said is on the AMA 3 comics and a collectible for the upcoming week. What I remember, I don't blame me if I'm wrong.
Don't blame me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Because did he say that like towards the end of the AMA? Because honestly, I kind of left the AMA probably like last like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we were chatting and we were just like, we had sat through the whole thing, and you were like FA Panther, and then I re-listened because I said that in my video at the end of one of my videos, and I want to make sure it was right before I released it. And I only listened up to the point where he was like, and we're going to be seeing some major FAs that relate to Black History Month in comics. So that's all I know for sure.
Yeah. John, for sure, appreciate the info. I love the comic side now, so I'm very excited. Probably some heavy hitters after last week's collectible big hitters. Probably. We'll see. I'm kind of interested, kind of curious if that's actually like a trend they do. Maybe deliver some pretty impressive comics with some significant FAs, then like shortly after, maybe not the week after, but at a short time after, they switch to like collectibles or something. Kind of curious. They let us like cool off on the collectible side. They do some big comics, then they,
seems like it.
Yeah, it seems to be the trend. Daniel Jovic, what are your thoughts on Superman and holding long term or sell at high and use the Disney golden moments instead? I don't even know where Superman's at right now. Superman. Let's see. He's sub 5,000 again. He was at 5,300 earlier today, and people just just sold him off again. This is just I don't know what's going on. Like he pumped up like 400 gems and then just like went right back down. That's so strange because I remember looking on the app shortly after the drop, and I could have sworn either it was just before the drop or after the drop, but he was at like 5,300.
Superman exists just to confuse us. Like we should replace the S on his chest with a big question mark because who even knows what he's doing?
He's just a troll. Playing the troll music. Let's see. John, thoughts on tomorrow's drop under retail? It going under retail? Unlikely. I'm sure there's some bots or people that just mislisted it, but other than that, I don't see it. But like thoughts holding Superman long term, since I didn't even actually answer that question. I think long term it's gonna do fine. It's just in a super awkward spot right now. Like in my opinion, it's a great time to buy in. Like even if it goes down to like 4,300, give it enough time. Like if you're buying Superman, I would hope you're in it for the long term hodl. Right, at the very least,
that's
like
a vaulter for me.
Yeah, or at the very least, if you are like into flipping, I mean, you're probably gonna have to give it months to flip it, and if you're willing to do that, go for it. Agree. GOT is awesome too. Game of Thrones, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you up above that was Clone Wars was great. Number 2 after Game of Thrones. And I was just
I missed the question.
Game of Thrones is awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, I remember watching or just listening to so many Game of Thrones. That was probably the funnest part of Game of Thrones. I remember listening on YouTube, dozens and dozens and dozens of videos of just theories and speculation, and this person's related to this person, and like, and all of that. And I'm just like, but unfortunately, season 7. Honestly, the last few seasons were a bit disappointing, but it is.
Game of Thrones on Veve #win.
Yeah. Do you think it's a bit? Don't you think it's kind of? I wouldn't say don't you think, but it's. Would it be difficult for them to do like just like actual real people, like real characters, and like would they look like just the actors? Like how would that look?
I don't know, and I don't know if they have to acquire the rights to the person's basically physical appearance to even do that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's why Walt Disney is the only human being that exists on the app right now.
That's very true.
That has like an actual. He's the only actual human on the app. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the reason for that is because they would have to jump through a whole bunch of different hoops, and it would probably be like cost prohibitive at a certain point.
Yeah, and like Walt Disney is extremely protective of just the Walt image and name and everything.
Yes.
I thought I heard. I don't know if it was you, but maybe it was someone else. They said that they try to make like the Walt Disney family. They live in like the greater like San Francisco Bay Area or something like that, and they wanted to release a Walt Disney, you know, kind of commemorating, I think their grandfather. I'm trying to remember like how far down the line the family was. They were trying to like make this museum about them, and Disney stepped in and said like, "No, you can't use the name Walt. Like that's our thing." And they're like, "What?" And so I think after a while they talked it out and like they probably found some middle ground. But I think if they called it like the Walt Disney History Museum or something like that, something along those lines. It's a little bit different. It's something a little bit different than what they initially wanted. But like Disney actually stepped in and be like, yeah, you can't call it just the Walt like museum. I think they wanted to use like his full name or something like that. I'm trying to remember the specifics of it.
That's
but like
wild.
Disney actually had to step in and tell the family like, nah, you can't do this. So if they're that protected,
great grandpa's off limits. Sorry.
Yeah, he belongs to us. But that's just a crazy thought. I mean, I don't think I really understood how important the Walt Disney statue is. That the FAs, the historical significance, the only human, there's so many entrepreneurs and just famous people that just like, yeah, Walt Disney was a huge influence on me and to many people.
I won't inject too much more because I know we're trying to wrap up, but an interesting thing to think about with all of the Mickeys also is the IP rights of Mickey Mouse in general. Yes. Walt Disney's had to go through the hoops twice because twice now the copyrights expired and they've somehow through hook and crook been able to keep that. So if and I think it's up for review again, and if Mickey becomes like a public IP, who knows what that means?
Yep. And then now that thing's gonna be like, yeah, I got these Mickeys when it was still owned by Disney, kind of thing, or
Right.
just before the whatever. Like that's gonna be a big deal too.
Domain.
But cool. Well, thank you everyone else for hanging out here. I really appreciate it. I know ecomi.wiki was down for a bit, but always happy to have any content creators or guests on here to kind of share ideas and get their take on different things. I love having you on here because you just have such a breadth of knowledge about all the drops and the people that are involved from the artist side and publishers and all that stuff. So
I love being on here. It's so much easier.
Oh yeah, it's definitely easier than spending.
I don't get to speculate on my side. You know what I mean? Like I don't do any speculation on my channel. I kind of just, here's the facts, ma'am, and I move on. So it's fun to kind of get to nerd out on the channel. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I love just speculating and wasting people's time. But if you guys actually value your time, you should definitely check out Vivian3's channel. He gives easily some of the best information when it comes to any of the drops and stuff. And he does those little sneaky giveaways occasionally on his channel. So be sure to pay attention, watch it on repeat, make sure you get it. So, well, thanks for hanging out, man. Have a good dinner, and I'll catch up with these another time.
There's a 5 comic giveaway on my AMA video, which isn't sneaky at all. All you got to do is comment in there with your username. I'm going to use YouTube random comment picker to pick a winner, so you don't even have to do anything special. You don't have to subscribe to the channel. You just leave a comment with your username, and you can get one of those 5 comics. So you should check that out. Yeah,
if you can, just link that video or whatever that is just in the chat, so people can just easily click on it, make their way over there.
Let me try
and make it happen. I know sometimes like links. Yeah, sometimes the links in the chat don't always work 100% of the time, and then we'll go from there.
My YouTube's so slow today. I don't know what's going on. My comments have been like it's showing I have a whole bunch of comments, but they're not listing. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, I remember having those issues too. Like when I first made the channel, like people, I think there's some like key terms or words that like people put in a comment. I think like YouTube just flags them and just removes them without like any warning. Not sure exactly what it is, but whatever it is. But cool, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a good dinner, and we'll chat it up some other time, I'm sure.
Later, buddy.
See ya.
We'll see if I can find Discord to close it.
Yeah, I got you. Later.